Hello, everybody. Welcome to Near Mint Condition, the channel where you can... What did you say?
Channel where you can be part of a positive, honest community and lay claim to some comic book knowledge.
I'm the uncanny Omar.
I'm the astonishing Melanie.
We're not alone. Together, we're Omni.
First,
all four together.
Crushing Crisis was here.
Okay, yes. So we'll start with on this side. Yeah, who are you, Crushing Crisis with a K?
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Crisis with a K. I mean, Omar already said it all. I manage a website called crushingcrisis.com that has hundreds of reading orders. I have my own channel where we talk about deep dives on data and release schedules, much like we're doing today, but it's so much more fun to do it with friends. And these are some of my favorite comic-loving friends on the internet. So this DC catalog, y'all, joy, pure giddiness, jumping up and down, squeaking, some tears. I'm so excited to share it with all of you and hear what you all think.
Same. And last but not least, my right-hand dude. How's it going, Dom?
What's up, everybody? My name is Dom of X. You know me as Omar's right-hand man, or the person who held the backpack for 4 straight days at the convention. I'm here to talk about the upcoming DC catalog. I have been talking about it on my channel. Happy to talk about it with friends, just like Crisis mentioned, and with 3 people that I do love from the bottom of my heart. Excited to talk about this with you guys, and I'm ready to get going whenever you guys are.
Yeah, totally appreciated, Dom.
Yeah, totally appreciated that. My adopted son.
For real.
I cannot write him off on my taxes, therefore I cannot legally adopt him. Plus, he is of age. Can you legally adopt? Okay. If I could, I may have to. 18 or older, right? You can't adopt an 18-year-old. I don't think.
You could still legally adopt them, but like they're not a dependent.
Just ask Dan. You can bind me through some contracts or something.
Dan is a copyright lawyer, not like...
I don't know if that's the kind of law that Dan handles based on the context I'm aware of, but...
Batman did? Batman
okay, actually, I was thinking of Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, and I'm like, that actually happened in the comics. Very happy to have everybody here. If you're not familiar with what we are doing today, not only are we going to go through the entire Omni list, by the way, the full list, we are going through the entire catalog on Friday at 6 p.m. But what we're doing today is going through the list, going through the content. But here's your chance to give DC a little bit of your advice, perhaps. Like, hey, I think it would be really cool if they add these issues into this omnibus. We take that information and we share it with DC. They love getting feedback. Whether they can do it or not, it's ultimately up to them. This is the same thing that Crisis and I do with the Marvel Omnis. Ultimately, it's up to them. But you all, as long as you don't get crazy, like, hey, can we add Punisher Max Omnibus Volume 2 to the Amethyst Omnibus? No, that's ridiculous.
Spoilers! Omar, we haven't even started the whole thing yet. You're over here talking about some Omni in April.
Yeah, but they know about it, right? I assume people know about this, right?
I don't know, though. Anyway. It could be a brand new viewer.
Yes. Hey, thank you so much. So get your blood hunt jokes out now.
That's right.
No, you get them out now before we start. Everything after this, my other dude in the chair is going to write it down. Yes, we can also post suggestions and missing issues, which we have all the time talk about. Can we add Heroes in Crisis? Is this
That's right. Omnirod knows ball. Let's go.
No, he does not. If he's talking about Heroes in Crisis.
This is that's feasible. That's not a big ask. Can we get Blood Hunt added to everyone's Omnis?
No, this is DC.
Red Band and regular edition. All right.
Insert a joke about Heroes in Crisis. Dom had
we have an adult in the room with us today in the form of Melanie to make sure all the really hard decisions get made and we pass that information along.
I will say, though, Dustin and I did have a really, really good conversation for about 20 to 25 minutes on that.
That's it.
Something.
26.
Was it about Blood Hunt?
About Heroes in Crisis.
We had a lot of fun with that conversation.
Awesome.
Not in the first 6 months, my friend. Not in the first 6 months. Who knows? Maybe the second half of the year will treat you better.
28.
Batter? All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started with your January to June DC Omnis. Something else to keep in mind, there were 2 Omnis that I had on my list that DC shared with me that did not make the cut. Now, that could be because they moved to another date or because maybe they'll pop in with a surprise from here and there. We will all figure that out together.
Wait,
just let every
slideshow.
Dom
Dom,
events.
this is really nice.
Oh, thank you. I just want to also let everybody know that the contents and information that you see here, including page and price, might not be the actual reflected contents or information when we do get to that point. So just to let everybody know, they can change what they want to at any given point in time over the next couple of months.
But this is the most updated content that DC just gave us this morning.
And I made sure to push.
There is one that we have to talk about, but when we get to it, we can talk about it.
Have a good rest and congratulations for getting to be interviewed on BBC Radio. That's awesome.
What?
Yay!
I was in London for 2
cool.
weeks and BBC never approached me. We're gonna have one wheel.
You're gonna get Sky News approaching you, Omar.
On Reels Talk on Wednesday. He'll be joining us.
Maybe he'll be promoting that on BBC.
I hope so. That would be cool. DC won't change. They said no to backseats. You don't know that.
Oh, they
all
definitely
right.
didn't say that.
January of 2027, Omni releases a new editions, and there are no omnibuses in January 2027. As of now, what January 2027 will probably be is, oh man, there's no way we can get this out in 2026. We're gonna have to move it to January of 2027. So as of now, that will probably change more than likely. I say that as DC been cooking.
That's right. They don't. That's right, Super Job. They don't interview people who like Fabian.
This guy doesn't like Fabian Nicieza.
What?
He's a Rob Liefeld fan, and that's okay. That's okay. I am too.
No, it doesn't have. You don't have to go to extremes. There's a spectrum. Come on now.
Oh yeah, you can like both DC and Marvel,
Exactly.
and you better
Or
like
neither.
your Warriors. What's that, Dom?
Or neither. You could just be a fan of creator-owned titles.
Sure.
Aw.
Thank you so much for
You-
balancing the world. I appreciate that. All right, February. Omni releases a new editions. Here we go with the very first official Near Mint Condition announcement, which is Batgirl. And this is collecting her first appearance all the way through No Man's Land. And please make sure everything is in here that you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. One of the things that I couldn't say in the announcement, but I could write it down, is the crossover between Batgirl and Ghost 1 through 4.
Yes.
I had mentioned in my AMA yesterday that we have reached the point of collected editions where at one time you would be like, there's no way in hell they're going to add Batgirl and Ghost to this omnibus. Now it's like you're almost expecting it to happen. You're almost expecting the powers that be to work out some kind of licensing deal. But it is coming out in February of 2027. 1,000 pages, $125. I know how I feel about this. Crisis, what are your feelings and thoughts on this?
Well, I have quite a few, and I'll try to be quick about it. One is that I love the confidence that DC is showing that omnibuses and DC Finest don't have to compete. We had a DC Finest of half of this material out in, I think it was March or May of 2025. It sold out. It went to a second printing. And now we're going to have this book out less than 2 years after that in the same frame that another DC Finest of this material comes out. I love that talking about spectrums. DC is kind of identifying a spectrum of characters that can support themselves across multiple formats. So that feels great. And I also think it feels great that, like, hopefully that they've listened to the community, not just as the poll on Near Mint Condition, not just because it was Tiger Eye's name on it, but hopefully, you know, Cass, I think, has a popularity that outstrips just the people who are necessarily buying any given monthly comic of hers, and how outstrips her appearances in other media. And I just hope that the sales for this is reflective of that as well. And then finally, really awesome to see Batgirl Ghost in there, because it's unusual. It's not the same as like Batman Aliens or Superman Predator or whatever, because it happened so early in the process of Batgirl that it was actually like a key way to learn about her character. And I feel like that's not often true about any kind of like intercompany crossover the way that it was true about Batgirl and Ghost.
This is a really good question that when we talk about mapping. Based on the map here, Dom, do you think elements of Bruce Wayne Fugitive Murder will be included in the second volume, or did you see that in the Finest?
I think that there is a good shot that if issues that Cass appears in are part of the Fugitive Murder crossover, it will be slotted in there. They have shown that they are incredibly wide open to allowing issues of other characters, whether they pop up in a random Justice League of America issue, or perhaps it's a random short story from a Halloween special, that those are not exempt from the DC Finest mapping. So at the very least, we will see those in DC Finest. For the Omni, I think it's still a toss-up in the air, but I know for sure that they will definitely, if it makes sense with the story, they will slot it in at some point.
How much Batgirl have you read, Melanie?
0.
Okay.
So I want to give my thoughts
Fine.
about the cover. I like the graphic design of Batgirl there at the top. I like the wispiness of the smoke there in the bottom right.
Mhm.
And I like the line work on the ropes and the cape.
So, but you know who the character of Cassandra
Oh,
Cain is?
yeah.
Okay.
And that she's unable to speak, right?
Mhm.
Does she ever speak?
I can't spoil that.
She,
Oh.
I
I don't want
have
to
a
spoil.
lot of thoughts on.
Oh, okay.
She's a very unique character and my Batgirl. Because
Aw.
Barbara Gordon is my Oracle. So, yeah.
Something I would say to you, Melanie, and folks in the chat who have not read
Okay.
it before, is what's fascinating about her is she does have a heritage that connects her to other characters in the DC universe. But as a hero,
Yes.
she feels a lot more self-motivated because she wants to make a difference that's for herself. She doesn't really have superpowers. She doesn't really have a whole lot of people on her side, although she's been certainly received some training. She almost, in a way, reminds me of a hero that would fit better into Marvel's New York City than Gotham. And I think it's fun to see a young hero of that nature in the Bat family, because so many of them, I don't know. It's the similar reason why I like Tim Drake. He's a hero because he wants to be a hero, not because of any kind of bats or, rich parents or Joe Cool or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, she's great. So, yeah, her language is violence at the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool.
Maybe I
So,
did. I don't know.
one other
That sounds
thing
familiar.
to add to what Dom was saying earlier, this is not going to be the final design of the cover. They might even change the cover. I don't think they are going to change the cover. I think they're set on this being the actual cover, but they probably will change. Actually, they told us they would change the logo, so keep that in mind too.
Yeah. A lot of these are placeholders. So to also add to what Crisis was saying, this is a fantastic legacy book. I think if you want to see how DC manages to bring one bridge to the other, especially when you have a character like Barbara, who was Batgirl for a good couple of decades, and replacing her with another character, I think this is something done right. And I think it shows to Kelly Puckett and Damian Scott, who are on a majority of these issues for at least the first half of this 2000s run, that they were able to show people why there should be a brand new Batgirl in tow from No Man's Land all the way up until they leave the book.
That's
a good point too, Dom.
The other crazy thing to add is that this is the very first ongoing Batgirl series.
Yep.
There was no Barbara Gordon ongoing series before this. This is the very first DC. Like, there were a couple of one-shots here and there, and of course she had her own story, but this is the legit very first one. And it went on. Yeah, there's enough material for 2 omnis.
I'm gonna go grab my.
What I also love about the mapping of this particular omnibus is that this absolutely destroys what DC had going before with some of their other Silent Night trade paperbacks, the ones that came out in the late 2010s that only started collecting the 2000s run, but never anything before. What you're getting here is an example of, wow, we're actually going to dig back, give you the abridged chapters of No Man's Land from her first appearance all the way up until issue 19, and giving people a full semblance of a story of like, okay, this is something that I can immediately follow. It's something that I praised DC for when the DC Finest Harley Quinn Birth of the Mirth trade paperback came out, where you did see abridged chapters of No Man's Land, but it was centered in a way where it never made you feel like you were confused as to what was going on in the middle of, oh my goodness, Gotham just is in a mess. But this is something that I think a lot of people are going to love when they get a chance to read it for the first time.
I think they will eventually do a one bad day omnibus. And would it include the Killing Joke? Probably, since it's the one that started it off. I wanted to highlight this comment, not to call out this person, but I think the same way. And now, of course, I can't find it. it was this person that was talking about how they're shocked that this was picked over Legends of the Dark Knight. That's the beauty of these polls, my dude.
There it is.
Yeah, pretty solid comic, but I'm shocked this was more wanted than Legends of the Dark Knight, which is close to peak Batman. It doesn't matter what you and I want. What matters is what the majority wants, because I was shocked when Tom King's Batman was the #1 most wanted Batman Omni by a mile, not like by 20 votes, a ton of votes. And that was crazy. So that's the times we're living in. Doesn't matter what we think, right? Like, or our circle of friends that all are probably the same age. Eventually, what matters is what other people want to, or what everyone wants.
Did you answer the? Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, we're gonna move on. Go
also, that comment from Goody, who I talk to all the time on the CK channel, is you have to remember the polls are not purely a popularity contest. They're people are voting strategically to try to find things that have not been collected to their satisfaction to put at the top of the poll. And to be fair, Legends of the Dark Knight had not been collected satisfactorily. But it's really interesting, and we'll see this in some of these poll standings, where certain things will like drop really suddenly, and it's because it got collected in another format, or the first one got collected, and people know that a second one will. So there's a lot of strategy involved, and you can never read the poll results as like a straight popularity contest. That's just historically not how the voters have treated them.
Ryan, could you write down some examples of when polls have been rigged historically, please? We're going to move on to the next one.
We love you, Ryan.
Which is, okay, that's going too far, Crisis. Animal Man by
Statements and phrases are not statements representing the opinions or beliefs of the entire Near Mint.
Perfectly said.
This is Animal Man by Jamie Delano and Steve Pugh. Continuing the Animal Man series, going all the way to issue 79. And also including the annual 1, Children's Crusade, and then Swamp Thing annual 7, a story from Vertigo Jam #1. And I know that people have asked, can they take it all the way to the end? I am going to ask. I don't know if the thing is, like, if they say no and they tell me, they may tell me, well, we're working on another one. Or if they do that, I can't say why. Sometimes it's just a yes, sometimes it's a no. But we are talking about adding how many issues plus
10. But
that's 11 issues.
It was a
that's
miniseries too, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a miniseries that they wanted added?
Well, so somebody, given that these omnibuses are not the hugest, I mean, this is under 30 issues or around 30 issues. Someone pointed out on one of my other streams, maybe they're actually saving that Jerry Prosser stuff to combine with that subsequent Last Days of Animal Man and other stuff to take us all the way up to Lemire, because really there'd only that would get us all the way to Flashpoint. So from that perspective, I can see the argument. By the way, for people who are not on the know, we're talking about this series went to, I forget, issue 89 or 90.
Issue 90.
There you go. 89. And the previous one, even though it had Rick Veitch's name in the title, did have some Peter Milligan issues in it. So people were like kind of thinking, oh, they'll put the Jerry Prosser stuff in. But because DC does deluxes and because DC does smaller omnibuses sometimes, it's kind of like all is not lost. If this was the Marvel poll and the Marvel solicits, I would be twisted, because usually with Marvel, it's like omnibus or no chance. At DC, it's just not that serious. There's always another chance to get 10 more issues collected.
Yeah, they are very firm believers in deluxes. We've seen it in the case of the Mark Miller and Grant Morrison Flash. They were like, we are not adding those issues to the Mark Waid book. And we're going to see it in another example, but that doesn't come out until the second half of next year.
Well, they're also doing, but they also did it for 100 Bullets, right? Where they removed the Brother Lono series, but then they opted to go for a deluxe of that stuff anyways.
I like to blame the previous collected editions department for that one, though, because that one was handled really rough when it was coming.
I mostly like to blame Ryan for things when I can. And Dom, isn't it true that in addition to Countdown to Adventure, isn't he also in like 52 and like a bunch of the other anthology stuff? Yeah.
But at that point, you're almost getting to that Bronze Age Batgirl omnibus. Hey, we're gonna give you a Batgirl omnibus, which is just going to show her appearances. She didn't have an ongoing series. I don't know if I would like that. That's almost too much, right? But then I'm also of that. I guess
it's good to have stuff collected for the library and completionism, you know?
I get it. Yes.
My 2 cents.
Oh, that's why you're tapping my
yeah.
leg. I was like, why are you tapping
You
my leg?
told me to tap your leg.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know CPU's been an artist since 1988.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
That's
older than that.
awesome. No wonder he's so good. He's one of my favorite artists, but I only discovered him recently with
Peacemaker?
Kyle Stark's work with Peacemaker and what's
End
the other
of
one?
life.
Oh
And
yeah,
the-
End of
I
life.
think he was a younger guy too.
Okay, I just wow. Yeah, no wonder he's so good.
And also, I think this is possibly my favorite Animal Man cover of all time. I love this cover.
Bolin did it all the way up until the end. Yeah, he
Yeah.
stuck around doing the covers. He was phenomenal. Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Oh, he did Wonder Woman. Thank you, Why the Last Nerd. I want to check that out. He wrote it when CPU drew Wonder Woman. Come on now, you know everything.
I don't. Crisis. Tap
Oh,
you
no,
in.
I just wanted to point out that was in the top 60 of the poll. Okay, let's
Okay.
get
Oh,
Mariko
thank you.
Tamaki, Omar. That's the answer.
Mariko Tamaki's run, Melody.
Fake,
Oh,
fake
thank
Mariko
you.
Tamaki fan.
All right. Superman by Philip Kennedy Johnson, Omnibus Volume 2, which is a book that surprises me, made it on the list because I really thought they were going to wait until maybe Philip Kennedy Johnson's contract was over with Marvel, come back and write some more stuff. But here we are, collecting it all the way to issue 1060. Go ahead.
How could you say that if he signed the contract with Marvel like only a couple months ago?
I don't know. Contracts are made to be broken. I don't know. I just know that he wanted to write more, and he could have written more, but maybe he's not allowed to anymore. So I guess they kind of cap-ended it here. So this book did not appear on the 2026 poll, since it was unclear if Adventures of Superman Book of L series would be completed in time for the 2027 omnibus release. What have we learned then?
nothing. But what we
You've learned nothing.
we try to not put things. I know that it's just our poll, but we take it very seriously because Tiger Eyes took it seriously for over a decade before we started working on it. And one of the things is you can't put an ongoing run on the poll unless it has an obvious stopping point. And because it had been announced that this Superman Book of L series was coming out, and if you don't know, it's kind of Philip Kennedy Johnson writing. It's almost kind of the future of what he would have written in this run, but I don't know if it's a canonical future. I haven't read it, nor will I, because I don't like him. But it was only announced and it wasn't done. So we're like, well, who knows? Then there might be a Superman Son of L, the sequel, or Son of L series 2. And so we were like, we held it. But wiser minds than ours was like, no, he said it was going to be the last thing, and here it is. And I think that's great because it shows that DC is committed to not leaving people hanging for volume 2s. Like, this was big in the market. His War World stuff is incredible. That's all in the volume 1. This completes the run, and it's nice for them to be like, yeah, as soon as it wraps up promptly, we are going to put out the omnibus because it completes an omnibus set. And I think that that's something I would like to see more of from Marvel and DC.
So Shalom's saying that PJK mentioned at Baltimore Comic-Con last year that it would come out after Adventures of Superman Book of L finished. And this person's saying only one issue left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have a
It's
super
been delayed to heck, particularly because they wanted to keep Scott Godlewski on art for all 12. The main things I have to say about this omnibus are that they're only going to collect, at least for those Action Comics issues, these stories that Philip Kennedy Johnson did when a certain character came back to Earth. That is probably already it's here on the content somewhere. Gene Luen Yang and Dan Jurgens both did backups for those 14 issues that tail ended the Action Comics run that PKJ was on, but those won't be in here and will be in other collections instead. They want to make this a PKJ adventure, and so it shall be. It also will include the crossover that he did with Tom Taylor that brought said person back to Earth, so that is all included in here for the price of $125.
Those backup stories that Dan Jurgens did are collected in the Dan Jurgens Superman Omnibus Volume 2, for the people that are wondering.
And I would suspect that the Power Girl backup stories would be an eventual Power Girl by Leah William omnibus. A lot of the backup stories were incredible, but most of them track to another character. The only backup stories that stick out to me that aren't obviously a fit with another omnibus are perhaps the Steel backup stories, but he has a string of stories that happened in this period, and I think eventually did get his own miniseries. So I like the backup stories. I think that they contributed a lot to the family feel of this book, but they were not all relevant to the main plot. So it's not like you're going to have huge gaps in your knowledge for them not being included.
J. Michael White, thank you for. I'm sorry, the J. Michael White. Thank you for the
one and
super
only.
chat. Is this the all-in era already?
Dawn of DC era.
And
Not an all-in
Dom,
yet.
you're so cute in your hat.
Thank you.
And I have a question for you, Dom. Which one of these characters on the cover would you like to attend a Comic Con with?
Kong Keenan.
Why?
Just because he's awesome. He's on the top right. He was created by my friend Jin-Wen Yang. New Superman kicks ass. He's a feisty guy. I would
Okay,
totally
that's a good
sit down
answer.
with him to go to a Comic-Con.
I know which choice my husband would pick
Why is that? Wait, which one do you think?
because you like the jerky people.
Oh, is Prime on here?
Isn't that him on the left?
No, that's Connor.
Oh, dang nabbit! I thought that was Prime.
That is my choice, though. I would party.
Yeah, we
Look at his
won't have
outfit.
Prime on a Superman cover for another couple of years, I think.
Oh, okay. I love it right now, though.
That is the Joshua Williamson.
Yeah.
run.
That's the only Superman I'm reading right now.
All right. Any other thoughts, prayers?
Nope.
Before I move on to the next book.
That answer was quick, Kale. I agree.
Justice League of America, Bronze Age, Volume 2, the 2027 edition. Collecting the exact same material as before. Only difference is going to be the type of paper stock that they are using. Pretty much moving forward, that's paper stock that they're going to use for the Bronze Age and Silver Age and some other books. Hopefully, they will let you know ahead of time before you can pre-order. They're trying to add it to the solicitations every time so people know ahead of time because some people don't like it and some people are all for it. But this will have the new paper stock as opposed to the glossy paper stock that the previous printing had. What was this? Number 45 in our most wanted reprint
One of
poll.
9 spots. Impressive.
There are too many Superman family characters. One can say not enough.
Well,
I was
don't
just
know
saying,
about
not enough
man.
for
There's
me.
so many
I'll
Bat
take 'em
family
all.
characters, but nobody wants to have that conversation.
Oh, the Toon Grub likes the newspaper-esque paper.
Yeah, some people, I've seen comments that some people don't, some people do. So
I like it.
the only negative thing I will say about it, at least for me, you're going to have to make more room on your shelf. The paper stock that we're looking at here, we're talking about a thicker omnibus.
Are these thick boys?
By a lot. Like, not a little, by a lot. So,
Interesting.
yeah, keep that in mind in case you're like, oh, should I replace mine or not? If shelf space an issue, then yeah, maybe not for you. Have to admit, I'm not a huge fan of the retro. Some people dig it, some people don't. I get it. Everybody to each their own. Respectfully, please skip to the Green Lantern Omni. Thank you.
Wait, do we have a Green Lantern Omni?
We do.
The one thing that I have to say about this omnibus real quick, if you are looking for a small pitch into Bronze Age Justice League, is that I think Carrie Bates and all of the other creators, like Len Wein, all the other guys who wrote these stories, weren't giving every single character the same type of voice. So if you're wondering, oh my gosh, I just read a Gardner Fox Silver Age issue, and everybody spoke exactly the same. A lot of these stories don't really have those same kinds of problems. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It does also have a lot of the scratchiness the Bronze Age introduced to us. A lot of the material in this omnibus is drawn by Dick Dillon, who has also become a person I've just familiarized myself with in reading this content. So if that's something that you're looking for, you can check this omnibus out. And you don't have to worry about getting volume 1 either, because a lot of these stories are self-contained within themselves.
Kane's asking, does DC have a name for the retro paper?
It's the well, I don't want to speak for them. I'm sorry. The Warlord paper stock they used was the Norbright paper 45. I think is what they used. I don't know what this one will have. Each one's a little different because sometimes they use different printers. I will say that this is not my favorite era of the Justice League. Even though you have people like, I think Dennis O'Neil starts writing some of the stories in this one. I had this one in volume 1 and gave them away many years ago. Okay. Norbright 45. Yeah. My man. Well, look at that.
No, this person already beat James to it. Come on now, James.
What?
Norbright.
Nasty.
James must be watching 3 different shows.
It's probably not you. If we are louder, it's StreamYard has been for
hold on. I'm gonna do
multiple people.
I'm gonna do one thing.
Doing weird things.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one thing. There we go. I try to adjust the levels, so I hope we sound equal to my buddies, Crisis and Dom. You all owe me a nickel every time you say retro paper. What's your mailing address?
2 nickels, but that's more than I expected.
You ever heard retro paper with a woman with a Kentucky accent? Hot. All right. Crisis, any thoughts on Justice League?
No.
Bronze Age Volume 2? Okay, no thoughts. All right. We're going to move on to the next book, and we are looking at the best month of the year, March of 2027.
No, it's not March. It's not March yet. Why are you so hype up?
We better have a Nightwing Omnibus in March. All right. What do we got, though? Ooh, good enough. Green Arrow Archer's Quest, Volume 2, connected to Nightwing because Scott McDaniel was the artist during this run. This is the Judd Winnick, straight up Judd Winnick era, I believe. Let me look here. Green Arrow.
Sorry.
Connor Hawk Dragon's Blood. That actually wasn't Judd Winnick. Who wrote that, Dom?
That was Chuck Dixon. Come on,
My
Omar,
man.
you know
Look
this.
at that. Look at that. What? I picked the right one. All right,
You
anyway.
sound country now.
Well, it's sitting next to you.
Boy,
Green Arrow 40 to 72 and Connor Hawk Dragon's Blood 1 through 6. It is a continuation of course, Archer's Quest Volume 1, which had the Kevin Smith and then the Brad Meltzer and eventually Judd Winnick. Judd Winnick, that's right. The same guy from Real World Season 2, LA, wherever it was.
I thought you were
Man,
going
he
to
can
say
write some
Outsiders.
good stories. He can write some good stories. Speaking of supporting cast, that's what I loved about this book was the big growing supporting cast. Does it mean that we'll get a volume 3 or could it be called Green Arrow and Black Canary? I guess we will wait to see. This goes past Infinite Crisis. As a matter of fact, that cover right there is from 1 year later. So this goes past Infinite Crisis up until a certain point where his life could change.
Wait, we all talk about San Francisco.
The real world San Francisco.
Oh, did you say?
I said LA. I'm sorry about that.
Oh.
Somebody take my real world badge away, please.
That's right.
I'm a huge fan of this. So I have a lot to say, but I've said enough. Dom, what did you read this era?
I have read most of the issues in this omnibus.
All right, so what did you think?
I co-sign anything by Judd Winnick, I think in the 2000s should be read by somebody at least once. I was surprised, I'll just say, at some of the covers. I just remember seeing some of them for the first time. Like, oh, we're going provocative with this cover. But if you can go back past the provocativeness, this run is definitely for you.
Okay. Also has a recipe for chili, I think, in one of these issues.
I think you're right.
Crisis, any thoughts on the Emerald Archer or Judd Winnick or this book? Scott McDaniel?
Well, first of all, I didn't realize that the first one was labeled a volume 1. I thought it just said Archer's Quest. So I was like, Archer's Quest volume 2. Like that was like news to me. Does the first one actually say volume 1?
It does, so yeah, it's volume 1.
Oh, okay. And then the other thing is I did see some people in the chat saying like, oh, it should include the last 3 issues of the series. That they were all issues that were strongly tied into the wedding. And so there are other one-shots and things, and then the series restarts with a different title. So I think that's why they're not including all the way to the end of the series here. I know from us people who like to keep our shelves perfectly organized, it feels like the 3 issues, just put them in here, but they're really part of the next story. And I think that they would either be in Archer's Quest Volume 3 or it would be called Green Arrow and Black Canary.
I agree. He is writing kids graphic novels nowadays.
Probably making a lot more money, selling a lot more books.
Yeah, which is a shame because I really do miss his writing in comics. I was a big fan. Actually, Omar, August is the best month of the year, according to who? You can have that. That's the second best month. Any other thoughts on this run? Melanie, what do you think?
No thoughts.
Okay, no thoughts.
I read The Longbow Hunters. It's the only Green Arrow comic I read.
And it was good. Does this have any Infinite Crisis tie-ins? I mean, as much a tie-in as no, I'm going to say no. It doesn't really. It's happening. There's a certain fight with a character that plays a big role in Villains United, but that's about it. That character was everywhere in those months.
And that was number 23 on the poll. So another top 60 Tiger Eyes poll choice.
What about this one, Crisis? What is this? What is this?
Goodness. I am so happy, proud, excited, overwhelmed to see that DC is moving forward with the Wonder Woman omnibus line into the Bronze Age. So, of course, we're only one book away from being done her Golden Age. That's Golden Age 7. In very, very quick succession, we got all 3 of her Silver Age omnibuses. And then we've already had an omnibus that bridges from the Silver Age to the Bronze Age, which is the Diana Prince omnibus, which really is like the beginning of the Bronze Age. So here we get into, after the Diana Prince period, we're into the true Bronze Age, where she gets back in the familiar costume. And it starts out with a couple of really historic stories. In fact, one of the stories that I would say is probably the most famous Wonder Woman story from before Crisis, which is the 12 Labor story. And that's happening, I think, starts around 212. So it's about less than a year into this book. So the other great thing that I like about this is how many other things that they're collecting. DC, in collecting their silver and bronze material, is not often known for collecting that all of the characters kind of like side appearances and guest appearances, but Wonder Woman was used significantly elsewhere in this period, and I like that it's being collected all here because it's something that I wasn't really expecting. So personally, I would love it if this was another 50 or 100 pages long, because there's a lot of Bronze Age to get through. We've got to get all the way to Wonder Woman 329, but it's nice to be cracking into it. And I think other volumes that don't have as much side material will be able to push further through the Wonder Woman series itself. Now, if you're thinking, hey, hasn't the DC Finest been touching the Bronze Age for Wonder Woman? Yes, they have, but they have been, much like the Batman line, working backwards. So the first DC Finest worked backwards from 329 to early in the 300s, and then the one that was just announced works a little bit more backwards from there. So it seems to be the case that at some point, these Bronze Age omnibuses, perhaps around Volume 3, are going to meet up with DC Finest on the other side.
Will this have Norbright 45?
That is my big question, because we don't have any Wonder Woman books with that yet.
Based on everything they've told me, and maybe that's why they're keeping it at 776 pages, is yes. But I will double check and triple check, and anytime we can update, we will let you all know. Okay. How many of these were in the top 50 in the poll? And thank you. I'm sure Crisis has some kind of number for that when we get to it.
And
I'm sure I'll put Crisis on the spot.
Crisis is researching currently.
Body by Liefeld, you taught me a word. I had to look that up. You're so overcome with emotion that your throat closes up. I mean, she is talking though, so technically, is she? However you say that word.
A little too dramatic, man.
That's why it makes me laugh. I like it.
No, Superman, I can't.
What's still left for all Wonder Woman to be collected in omnibus format?
The Bronze Age, Silver Age.
Well, Silver Age is done.
That's right, because Diana Prince is the final.
It's Golden 7, right? All of the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
William Lester Loebs and Mike Deodato. Eric Luke. We need a deluxe of the Simonson Ordway run that's right before Rucka. The Amazon Attacks run that's just prior to Gail Simone, which there is enough material for a slim omnibus. The JMS run after Gail Simone, which is directly before Flashpoint. And then we'll be all the way to Flashpoint. Then we would need a deluxe or a small omnibus of the Meredith Finch run that comes after the Brian Azzarello run. Then we get to the second Rucka run, which we're getting an omnibus. And then let's wait until later in this presentation to talk even more.
Oh, yeah. I have no more thoughts or opinions about this, but I do like that very dramatic cover.
And he left me alone with the opinions. I see how it is.
Well, I thought Crisis would have me covered, but what do you think?
No, it's okay. It's okay. We can move on to the next book. Omar.
No,
I just wanted to toss that in.
Oh, is that what you wanted to toss in? Okay. I'm gonna move on then. With a really interesting cover for Elseworlds Superman Volume 2.
Oh, yeah.
Collecting Red Sun, War of the Worlds, Nation Divided, Son of Superman, the Superman Monster, Last Son of Earth, Legion, Supergirl Wings, Last Stand on Krypton, True Brit, and the Infinite Holiday Special in the Last Family of Krypton. Now, this is done in chronological publishing order, correct?
Yes. All of the omnis that we've gotten so far for the Elseworlds have come in chronological order.
So correct me if I'm wrong then. They're not going to put
It doesn't look like Secret Identities in here, my friend.
already knew. You already finished my sandwich. Okay. Thank you.
I like eating.
I agree. It gives me sci-fi vibes, like paperback sci-fi.
That's the point of Elseworld, right? It's not supposed to feel like Superman. Sylvester Stallone Superman, never heard of it.
I know that okay. This is what I forgot to say in the Wonder Woman, but it also includes the Elseworld Superman bit. This is the content for what DC gave us. I know that there were a lot of people who are wondering why they were including the first arc of Patrick Gleason and Peter J. Tomasi's Superman run from Rebirth era. But this is what DC gave us for this Elseworld Superman content, and the Wonder Woman Omni, or the Bronze Age Omnibus, does go up to 227. We did ask for a double check on that, and that is what is going up to.
There's only one omnibus here that they don't know yet, so we're gonna talk about it when we get there. I've read a lot of the stuff in here. There's a couple of books that I don't remember Supergirl Wings, nor do I remember the what's it called, the Infinite Holiday Special. I don't remember that one, but everything else I've read.
Apparently, the Supergirl Wings issue was written by J.M. DeMatteis.
Huh. Okay. True, so, Brit. Yeah, I've read a lot of this. Superboy's Legion is peak solo Alan Davis. I'm a huge fan of Elseworlds, so alternate realities. I know somebody on the panel doesn't agree with that, but that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything.
It just doesn't align with my values.
Ooh, nice.
Look, I will point out that this was, of everything that's on the publishing schedule, this is the one that had the lowest placement on the Tiger Eyes poll, which doesn't really mean anything, because sometimes people will not vote for something on the Tiger Eyes poll when it is self-evident that DC is probably going to put it out soon. And so I'm sure if there was no hint of this in the future, people might have been a little hotter for it. But Dom, it sounds like this is the end of Elseworld Superman because of how far it collects. Is there more Elseworld Superman we could do?
Yeah, it's clear to DC, or to DC and to us, that these are going to be $150 thickies, and we don't have enough Superman after this to do another $150 thickie. So this is as is, but as always, we do appreciate any feedback that you might want for issues included to DC.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the next slide, which is Supergirl, the Silver Age Volume 2, 2027 edition. And I can tell you that the Silver Age Volume 1 did have that new paper stock, so this will probably have it too. This was ranked 146 in our 2026 Most Wanted reprint poll, moving down from 102, and that's probably because they reprinted Volume 1. And this is a character that didn't have her own ongoing series, so she was just left to collect issues of Action Comic backup stories. And this time around, $99.99. I want to say that's how much the original printing was, but I could be wrong.
Yes, it was also $99.
Okay.
I think really the only note I have on this is that Jim Mooney is a really good artist.
Who is the cover artist on this? Is it
Doc Shaner?
Okay, not who I was going to guess. I like that. It's pretty. Too. Could you maybe ask for a Man and Superman Deluxe Edition?
Yeah, the Marv Wolfman story. I love that Superman issue.
Well, it's not up to me to ask. Like, it's up to you all.
Mm-hmm.
I have often thought maybe we should start doing since they are reprinting deluxe editions. Maybe next year we could do a deluxe edition poll. That would be a really quick one, or maybe add it to one of our other polls. It's something I keep meaning to ask Crisis, but yeah,
it's a lot of work.
You know your stuff, Dom. That's right. That's why he's the best man for the job. Which of the 15 different Supergirls is this? The original, right, Dom?
Yeah, Linda.
This is the original one.
So, is that the horse?
That is a version of the horse from. You're talking about the Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
It is a version of the horse, just like that young lady is a version of that Supergirl.
Okay.
Yeah.
The hand needs a manicure, redrawn. I don't see it.
Crisis, I know you've read a lot of Wonder Woman. Have you read any of the Supergirl Silver Age?
No, I've actually been really excited to finally get to, because they've put out that first Supergirl, the Girl of Steel DC Finest. But we are not quite this far, I don't think, because that is just the first volume.
We're not that far yet.
April of 2027. My favorite Supergirl of all time.
I really like this cover.
That is by Gary Frank. This is Supergirl by Peter David, Volume 1. So, real talk, I'm so glad. I was very blessed to get to announce Batgirl. But this is the one that I wanted to announce. Like, I would have chosen this over Legends of the Dark Knight if DC were to like, pick one. Legends of the Dark Knight would have gotten twice as many hits. But this is the one. I love this run. I love Peter David. I love the character. Starts off with Gary Frank doing the artwork. He brought him over from Marvel Comics. Like, legit gave him an opening to a job that would later, I mean, if it wasn't for Peter David, Gary Frank wouldn't be at Ghost Machine. Yeah, because he joined up with Jeff Johns during his run here at DC Comics. I love this run. It means a lot to me, and now it is finally coming out. There was a time that DC didn't have enough faith in bringing this run out in trade paperback, but kept canceling it. As a matter of fact, the DC Finest is the third go around, if I'm correct. Maybe actually
the regular trade paperbacks.
Yeah, but even before that, they did the like the old trade paperbacks that were here and there that collected the first 8 issues and the last few issues, and that was it. And then they did the new trade paperbacks. Yeah, so I think DC Finest is like the fourth go, like trying to get the series collected.
Why do you love it so much?
I just like how different it is, because it's not the Supergirl that you read. It's not the Supergirl we just saw. It's another.
Like, what type of character is she?
So it's an amalgam of a character. It's 2 characters in one. There was no Supergirl during Post-Crisis because the editors, really it was John Byrne and the editors decided
just John
the
Byrne.
only true Kryptonian is Kal-El. That's it.
Tom's disagreeing with you.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
But there is no more people from Krypton except for Superman, and that's it. So that was the rule they abided by. So the work around that was this character that was kind of a shapeshifter named Matrix, and she shapeshifted into Supergirl.
Oh.
So this is a weird combination between Linda, a human girl, and there was an accident that happens that both of them become one person. So it's like
it's Doomsday Squishy face.
It's very reminiscent to I don't want to compare it to Captain Marvel, almost like the Marvel Captain Marvel with Marvel, where Rick Jones takes place and then Marvel, touches the bands. Marvel comes out, they hang out in the negative zone. It's a lot like
Firestorm.
Not where 2 minds are arguing, an old man and a young boy. They actually got along. But yeah, you have teenage drama. You've got superheroics in here. I love it, man.
Well, I think what this run also does really well is give us really good internal conflict between the character of Linda, who is trying to figure out what the heck's going on, and obviously the Supergirl from the Pocket Universe that have all merged into one. Peter David has a lot of things to say about religion and family and trauma, and I think a lot of this stuff is really, really well done. And to also add to Gary Frank, this is where Peter David and Leonard Kirk teamed up, and those two would eventually get on to do X Factor later. So there are a lot of ties in here with the Supergirl run.
Okay.
Man, he loved this character so much. When the run was over, he's like, cool, I'm going to have a story called Fallen Angel. And it's kind of a continuation of this. And then eventually, because it's his own creator-owned, he shopped it over to IDW, who I don't know who owns the rights after Peter passed away, though. Yeah, this run is great. I love it.
Is it better than the Hulk run?
No. Just my opinion. It's not. I mean, there were so many new things he was doing with the Hulk. It's different, but it's good. Maybe one day I can tier rank my Peter David.
Ooh.
That would be tough, because I love Peter David and just about everything he wrote.
Funny you mentioned that, Body by Liefeld, because Blue Superman does pop up in a couple of issues in this run. So it does fall squarely right in alongside Grant Morrison and Howard Porter's JLA.
Yeah. So anything that came before that, Supergirl by Jeff Loeb and Michael Turner, was this character. And crazy enough, there was a time when DC was like, no, we need to forget about this character. It's all about Michael Turner and Jeff Loeb's Supergirl. So much so that if you got the first printing of Death and Return of Superman, every single page that featured this Supergirl was omitted. They took it out of the mapping.
Oh my gosh.
Like, So anybody that has that first printing, yeah, go and check it out. Flip through those pages. You won't see Supergirl in there. I don't think she even makes. She might make some of the covers where she's with a bunch of other characters, but her stories, Matrix's stories, are not in there. Dan Didio wanted everybody to forget about this character.
He was a very peculiar gentleman.
He also wanted to kill Nightwing, but that's another story.
I mean,
Hey,
he got half of his wishes.
It's canon again, a new history book.
so this series went to
Yeah.
issue 80. I see people asking if how many more books. I think unless they wanted to do like we said that they might do in Green Arrow and have it like roll into the next Supergirl run, I think they would just put all the remaining issues in a subsequent one. This is not a run I knew very well because again, I was not a big DC reader outside of Wonder Woman and post Flashpoint until we got these beautiful DC Finest. And as the DC Finest came in for this one, I started looking through and it's like the art was gorgeous. I was just turning page after page and being like, this is like the best looking book from the late 90s, early 2000s I've ever seen from DC. And sure enough, every page I was reacting to was Leonard Kirk, which is kind of funny to me because Leonard Kirk is I really like Leonard Kirk, but his style has really changed a lot over the years, and I didn't even like recognize it as Leonard Kirk. And I've read a lot of his comic books. He was on Fantastic Four for a while, of course, X Factor. But yeah, I think people are going to be really pleasantly surprised, and I'm really happy that they were able to achieve this and oversize. Because I know with some of the '90s books, there's a lot of restoration of art files required to get to oversized format.
This one made it in our top 20. This was number 18.
Yeah.
It's
Just a
also-
slight dip from the year before, partially because other stuff moved up and partially because we did get a pretty huge chunk of it in DC Finest. But
DC
still,
Finest.
as I said in the poll, everything in the top 20 had a massive groundswell of votes. So this is definitely one of the hottest ones. Somebody asked earlier how many books from the top 60 are going to be in here. 10 books from the top 60 of this year's poll. And you have to think that DC probably has locked a lot of this slate before the poll even came out. We didn't have poll results until like end of May, early June. They were probably already working on this catalog at that point. So if anything, these are things that were going to naturally kind of happen kind of just based on last year's poll. And I think we'll continue to see ripple effects of this year's poll in the second half of 2027.
Now, Dom, the DC Finest, does that include the stuff that predates this Supergirl run?
No, it
Like
starts off
HBO
with
series?
the first. No, that the Peter David stuff starts off with his first issue of Supergirl.
So
and
that's
on the DC
that's how
Finest
DC Finest starts.
poll,
Okay.
we said that there could be a separate Matrix volume, basically. That would
Yeah,
have
that's
all
what
this
I'm
content.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year's poll is going to be crazy.
Crazy.
Wait till the second
That
part
was
of the
cute.
year. I'm just trying to match.
Which means
his
more
energy.
slides for me to do because we just have more DC
Right?
Finest
Because
stuff.
more divisions.
Yes. You're never
Partition,
leaving
baby.
that desk.
I want to go. Wait.
You go,
Is-
were you gonna get a flannel shirt and a skateboard? What were you gonna do?
Oh my gosh, yes. I want to steal her style.
You
No,
wore her
I
style in the
do.
90s.
I'm so used to you having everything. I was like, I'm gonna go get it off the shelf right now.
There is
It
no
doesn't
longer. This doesn't exist. Actually, I have custom ones. You can get it off the
Okay, I'm
shelf.
gonna go get it.
Okay. I'm gonna
Let's
move on
go.
to the next slide. Out of nowhere,
Hey.
Tom Strong, Volume 1. I'm surprised this was not released in omnibus format to begin with. They did compendiums, and if you look at the mapping, this is actually has less material than the compendium Volume 1. 800 pages, $100, collecting the first 30 issues, and Promethea 26 through 27. So I love this stuff. It's weird that the 6 issues are omitted, but there's definitely going to be a volume 2 with that volume 1. If you're one of those people that's like, oh, Alan Moore always writes the same thing, it's always dark, and he has some tropes that he has used over the years, of course. This is kind of like top 10 if you've read that. It's not tropey Alan Moore stuff. It's a lot lighthearted. There are still dark elements because, a wizard does what a wizard does, but there's some really good non-Alan Moore stuff in here I did not expect. Plus, you get beautiful artwork from Chris Sprouse. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of this stuff. I did an overview of I never did an overview of the second compendium. I forgot to do that. I think I picked it up.
You definitely picked it up because it was on your list.
Makes zero sense to leave those issues to kick off a volume 2. Yeah, that would be the only reason why to kick off a volume 2. And I'm assuming volume 2 will have a little bit more than the compendium will have. But yeah, big fan of this stuff. I don't know. Have you either one of you read it?
Chris Sprouse might be the most underrated Alan Moore collaborator on the planet. I don't think people talk about his art enough when you talk about, oh, like, yeah, it's Dave Gibbons, Kevin O'Neill. We have
Is
all
that how it
really good.
sounds?
I like Dave Gibbons.
Oh, no offense to them. I just don't think people talk about Chris Sprouse enough. I mean, his art is very
okay.
joyful in the series.
Okay.
Wait, what? Tom Strong on me.
This one.
I'm just
This
surprised
one-
that they're doing a reprint of the compendium so close to the omnibus coming out. Because, like, for somebody like me who was like, "Oh, I missed the first compendium printing. Let me get another one." Now I'm kind of like, I've already got the compendium pre-order locked and loaded, and now I'm like looking at this omnibus.
Jason Burrows is the one who doesn't get enough credit for more
But
collaboration.
nobody talks about him either. But
Sprouse got a lot of love when he was doing Legion, though. I do remember a lot of people hyping him up. A lot of the people that were reading Legion, and I've always been a fan. I really like what he does.
he did all of the Star Wars like homage or like movie variant covers for Charles Soule's run a couple of years ago too.
See, I don't remember that. I just know he has he's got that style. When you look at it, you're like, oh, that's Chris Sprouse. That's who's drawing it.
With
And I
Carl
like
Story
that.
inks.
I like that in my artist. You know immediately who it is. Okay, we're gonna move on unless somebody else wants to talk about Tom Strong. No. Okay. Oh yeah, baby.
Hey, there he is.
Batman by Doug Minch, Volume 1, collecting issues 360 to 381, Detective Comics 527 to 547. This book was not explicitly on the poll, though it was assumed to be part of the Batman 1980s line, which would make it number 72, down from 37, probably because we knew about the Bronze Age by the time we were doing the poll. Very surprised.
It's funny. A lot of people in the poll were like, "Why would you put the 80s on? Bronze Age is going to have 25 and a half volumes." But it's like, because at this point, when Doug Munch takes over and he writes a whole solid run, totally unbroken, why would you give up the opportunity to market with his name? Same as the run that comes directly before this by Jerry Conway. Why would you give up the right to market that? A Batman by Doug Munch, Volume 1 and 2 is going to do way better than a Batman the Bronze Age Volume 12 or whatever it would be. Same thing with the Justice League Detroit Omnibus. And it gives us a chance to get it out earlier. It's remarkable material. And they're running the same play here that they're running with the Wonder Woman Bronze Age Omnibus, where they already started collecting backwards from the end of this run in DC Finest. And now they're collecting forward from the beginning of the run in Omnibus. I think that's just one of the strategies we're going to be seeing from DC coming up. So be on the lookout for any of those DC Finest lines that are starting to collect backwards from point, because it could be a sign that we're going to get omnibuses sometime soon.
Let's see here. Hi, Omar, Melanie, and friends. Do you think Doug Minch's Batman is worth buying? Since you mentioned in your videos that artist-centric omnis don't have complete story arcs. Your thoughts? Thanks.
I'm going to swerve on this end and actually recommend the DC Finest Batman Red Skies over whatever this is. I think we're going to get a volume 2, because Mensch is, for people who might or might not know, he does get on and off on Batman, Detective Comics, and some other stories for a good while. And while I think it makes sense to do something like this because people recognize the man behind Moon Knight, I do think that having all the stories put together over, oh, hey, it's just a bunch of Doug Mensch issues, will make up for a much better read than, oh, we have Doug Mensch and he's writing this one random issue in 1991. It has nothing to do with the issue that came previously.
It is a tough question to answer because I don't know when we're going to get this material in omnibus format. Much like I don't know.
Well, it's right here, Omar. It's on the screen.
Right, exactly.
It's coming in April.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait. I'm not done talking yet.
Is
this what it feels like? Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to you. In a future volume of the Bronze Age.
That's absurd. Why would you? Okay,
because we know from Marvel that, for example, there
let's
was a time
not bring up those fools in this stream. We're talking about people who know how to map.
We're talking about Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 8 And people are like, okay, they're going to map around that or around the Roger Stern omnibus. And I think the same thing is going to happen here eventually, just like the Diana Prince omnibus.
Do you think they're going to remap Justice League Detroit to be a Bronze Age omnibus?
Yeah, that
The
will
question
not.
you should be asking is, do you think DC likes money? Yes. The answer is, of course, they're going to remap. I would remap it.
I don't.
But here's the thing about this one. Let's pull out Red Skies off the shelf, shall we?
Okay,
pretty
pull it
much
out. Let's show,
more
show
or less
omnibus,
more or less omnibus volume 2 of this. Okay. So the only stuff other than the main run that this has is annual 10 and a story from Secret Origins. So when we say like beware the creator centric mappings of some DC books, because sometimes it leaves stuff out, there's not, that's about a post-crisis world where there's a bunch of stuff by other people, or I guess the old style of when they would do like the Batman by Neil Adams type of stuff in the past. But this is, I mean, look who's credited on the cover. There's nobody else writing it. It's Doug Mensch. So I think in this case, to go back to the intent of the original question and not any of the strange proselytizing about Marvel that Omar's doing on this DC stream.
This isn't a mapping show, right?
I think that there's a very good chance for this Doug Mensch omnibus line to just collect everything there is from Detective and Batman, and there's really nothing else to collect. So I think we're kind of marked safe from it being an exclusionary creator-centric omnibus, I guess is what I'm saying.
And I'm saying I think you're wrong, but that's okay.
No,
that's why I invite you back on my show.
Do you need an evergreen show, Omar? You seem to really want to fight.
Melanie can tell you I'm not a fan of fighting. I am a lover, not a fighter.
You're a lover, not a fighter.
That's so true.
A lover of bad mapping.
No, it's not bad mapping. It's just at some point we're gonna get to.
I don't think so, dude. From everything that I've gathered, I do not think we're going to get a remap. First of all, we don't even have a Bronze Age Omnibus Volume 1 that is printed out in our hands. So I think.
Yeah, Okay. So back to this question. I'm so sorry. That was so long.
By the way, Annual 10 is by Doug Mensch. So even Annual 10 would not be skipped. We're talking about a complete run that is by this one.
That is one of the best Batman.
It is different than most creator-centric books. I will say one other thing. Most of the time, they do ask the creators, when they're still with us, of course, if anything should be omitted. And then creators, we know, I'm not going to say who, have said, yes, take those books out of my omnibus. I did not write those. I'm not going to say who said it or how many times it's happened, but it's easier when the creators are not with us to be like, oh, well, let's just put everything in there, including maybe some of the stories they did not write. So, yes, this is a good omnibus to have that has everything by Doug Mensch. The omnibus before this would have been the Jerry Conway one. It's Red Skies.
Which I think will happen too.
They're not all. The only Crisis Times that are in there are more so towards the 4/5 of the book, but most of that book is not Crisis on Nefarious Times. You should have seen us in the hotel room, Chandasuk. Man, those conversations were heated.
They were heated. All right. Does any? Oh wait, I'm sorry. Crisis. Did you say your piece on this? Did you not?
Yeah, you're wrong. I think we've established.
That's not what
we
your
agreed
piece was.
Okay. If you're a lover, you gotta be a fighter. Because if you don't fight for your love, what kind of love do you have? Keanu Reeves.
Was that from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
In the words of the stage poet Pat Benatar, love of the battlefield.
Man, I'm not even WWE.
Hey, I'd love to moderate that so I can see Crisis beat the heck out of Omar.
Why is he beating me? What?
Major Hellraiser said thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm sorry we argued. I hope it was well worth your super chat. Aren't the Red Sky tie-ins literally just Red Skies? You are 100%. That is exactly why we call them Red Skies tie-ins.
Were there no annuals?
That would be in the next book, right?
That's in the next, yes. That will be in the next omnibus if we ever get to that point.
We can't even get past this damn Sly. All right, I'm going to move on. That was a lot of arguing happening here.
Our point being, if you love Doug Mensch, buy this Omni. If you want to read more or want it now, get Batman Red Skies, DC Finest.
What the fuck?
He must have made a strong
Make me snap. All he said was Omar's wrong. All right. Would you like to read this, Melanie?
Harley Quinn by Connor Palmiotti, Volume 2. I will say that I am enjoying last year's Harley Quinn and Elvira crossover. That's what I'm reading.
I love
Anyway.
you had to close your eyes so you could focus on that title. You were like, say it right. Don't mess this up, Melly. You got one shot.
Who is it? Anywho, so that's my 2 cents for this.
A straight up reprint. This was number 25 in our most wanted reprint poll. They are reprinting volume 1 this year, and then 2027 will give us volume 2. It was one that was most requested. Like, people have been wanting this book to be reprinted. So some people love this run. Some people consider this as the Harley Quinn run to them. Some people think Harley Quinn peaked at Mad Love. I'm not going to say any names who that was, but he's
Is it you?
the one that is speaking right now. You want to argue about that too, Crisis?
I'm sure Barbara's really happy about it.
I think Bar was missing
Right, it's
volumes
not.
1 and 2. Good evening. Hey, Kane, you got here just in time.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that? The one I got in single issue. So I'm like, oh, there's the
And you
freaking
had the
train
train
right there.
You know, the only thing that I have to say about this omnibus is that I got a chance to drink some pineapple juice with Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti at one of the after parties, and both of them asked me why I wasn't drinking anything alcoholic during the party because they were free drinks. So
They were there?
Yeah, they were.
You
I
bring him
told
to
you that.
one
That's
con,
right.
and he's every creator name that he could drop in every one.
It was at the comic
they're
book.
cool people.
You were with Mark Russell.
Well, dang nabbit, I didn't get to say hi.
You were busy talking to Mark
That's
Russell
talking
about the stories he wrote. And he's like, yes, I know. I wrote that.
Lovely conversation.
Paul Dini is still the best at Harley. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know what I think about the run, but Dom, did you like this run?
I am very up and down on it, but it's something that I more so appreciate on the outside looking in.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Crisis,
Oh.
thoughts on? Have you read this?
I don't particularly find Palmiotti and Connor's humor funny. So I enjoyed their comics, but when it's a comic that's meant to be funny, it's not that I'm saying they're not funny or I find it offensive or anything. I'm kind of just like, So for a character that's meant to be like riotously funny, it just doesn't really do the thing it's supposed to do for me.
Melanie, you're the English teacher. Would you like to answer this question?
Where'd Deathstroke at?
How do you answer as an English teacher?
No say.
Deathstroke is not in this
In the
comic,
English
by the way.
language, we don't
No.
finish questions with the prepositional phrase "at," right?
Oh, apparently that's not really a rule. Because I watch Rob Words on YouTube. I
Oh,
trust him.
God, you're an English teacher and you're watching Rob Word on YouTube.
I can't-
Roberts, let's go. Hold on a minute,
Oh, do you
Karsten.
like
I didn't
Robert?
say that I hated the run. There's we got Elsa Chatier, Chad
He's
Harden,
coming.
John
Deathstroke's
Timms
coming.
on art.
Palmiotti immediately asked Don for his drink ticket.
I didn't make you out to be a grammar prescriptivist.
Where is Deathstroke
Omar?
located?
I didn't know that
I said he
prescriptivist would ever
coming.
be used for one of these streams, but here I am.
Rob Words.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about.
It's-
Let's move on.
It's a great channel.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next book, which is not a reprint. Oh,
Yes!
There it is.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah.
Favorite comic book covers
That's
of
true.
the 90s. I love this. I love this.
It's a good
look
cover.
at that cover by again Nightwing and also
Green Arrow.
artist Scott McDaniel. Melly, shame, take that back. Why are you being
Wait,
about
Deathstroke's at here. Is that what
Look at
Deathstroke's
that's-
now at?
I
trying
hope
to
they don't change
formulate
that
it.
cover. That cover is so
Mark
badass.
Wolfman wrote it?
Yeah.
Well,
Should be one more volume, right, Dom, to finish
Here.
out the series?
I think you're
there
right.
he's at.
There is Deathstroke. Yeah, there he's at.
I feel like this is a children's book. And you turn it, where's Deathstroke? Here he is.
I actually love the redesign of Deathstroke's costume from Nightwing. I know people hated it, but they also hated the black armored Daredevil. And I know how Ryan feels about his Scott McDaniel. If
What
it,
does Ryan like?
he likes Rob Liefeld. If it ain't got muscles on muscles, he don't want it. I read this run, so I know how I feel about it. What about you two? Do you all like it? Have you
I
not
love
read
this
it?
one. I'm always skeptical of any villain who like gets a book. I'm like, oh, are we gonna make them like cute and like ooh? Are they gonna be like everybody's favorite hero now? Even in the 90s, I felt like that before we knew what ooh was. And no, this is really great. I mean, he's not suddenly a good person just because he's the lead of his comic book. And Wolfman's so reliable. The art is good. This is good mid 90s comic books. This one picks up pretty much from 0 hour to continue. This is the end of the run. Yeah, so it's a 2-volume run. Yeah, highly interested in this. I don't buy a lot of oversized DC, so I'm like torn because I love this run so much. Part of me wants to hold out until it gets to DC Finest, but I really enjoy this. This was my era. I was reading this like alongside my Wonder Woman poll every month, you know?
This was I think this was a direct market only book, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, interesting.
Like you could only get it through comic book stores. And maybe I'm just basing it on my opinion, living in a small town where I could not find it like at the grocery because I was missing
I think
issues.
these issues were also coming out at the time when Diamond started becoming a real thing in reality. Well, 3 years, but it was also almost at that time.
Yes, thank you for explaining. Not any senses or prepositions is a thing in Latin. Grammarians in the 19th century decided that it should be in English, but it's still grammatical.
Okay,
Hey, they're right.
So
They know ball.
all right, as a Latino, I have to stand up for that then. The Latin times. Oh, it's been a fun stream. Okay.
Dom, do you have any
thoughts?
feelings on this one before we continue?
I think I mostly have the same things as you, although this is not my favorite Deathstroke run. I think that still, at least for me, belongs to the Rebirth series. This is something that I do eventually want to get, but I probably am going to wait for the DC Finest when those drop.
Okay.
It's good Blackbird art though. I don't mind that. It's just that as for me, as a Teen Titans fan of all things proprietary or whatever you want to use the word for stuff related to the Titans, I have to be weary of my purchase when it comes to a mercenary like the name of Slade Wilson. So I will save my money for the Finest, I think is what I just realized in the last 30 seconds.
Okay.
Tom say grammarians in the 18th century.
These kids these days, man, they just make up language as they go along.
What do you mean? I play basketball, so it makes move on to the next slide. Move on to the next slide.
All right, boss. New Teen Titans, Volume 4, 2027 edition. They ain't stopping. They want you to buy these new editions with a new DC bullet logo. New old. New Teen Titans 10 through 31, Annual 1 and 2, and a story from Omega Men 34. Number 10 in our most wanted
People want them Omnis.
reprint poll. It's still Mark Wolfman writing the stories. It is no longer George Perez. I think Perez did actually a couple of covers in this.
He did covers, but he was way too busy drawing splash pages that included the anti-monitor in them, so he wasn't drawing these issues.
I was a little busy, a little bit preoccupied.
In case you missed it, these are the here's the thing. If you have the original 3 with the sky blue dust jackets, give them to somebody you don't love because those have horrible mapping and you want the ones with the navy blue dust jackets. That is the proper mapping on the books. So
is
the one that matches this
cover?
It looks like the original printing had the new colors too.
Another run with DC Finest going backwards.
People really like New Teen Titans.
Like
people really wanted to read this because this run forever, even when I was a kid, was being compared to you like Chris Claremont X-Men, you should be reading Mark Wolfman's New Teen Titans. It was the equivalent. So, yeah.
I can for this question, what's your favorite Teen Titans member? Marv Wolfman's answer is it's like picking your favorite child. You can't pick your favorite one.
Do you remember what I said?
You sure it wasn't Donna when he had the character he made marry her?
No, that's when I
have thoughts, man.
You're almost there.
When I had Marv Wolfman sign my reboot book,
I was interviewing him and I asked him, "Who's your favorite character?"
And he's like, "No, you can't pick, just like your children." And Omar immediately said Lydia.
And he said, "What is wrong with you?" And both of my kids were sitting in front of me. I'm like, "They're right there." They know I love them.
No love,
I'm just kidding.
Well, but who's your favorite? Mine's Starfire.
Oh, Nightwing. Come on.
Starfire.
Come on. Crisis. Best New Teen Titan.
I don't know.
I don't know how to choose between you, Mom and Dad. Nightwing and Starfire are usually my top 2, and I just don't know.
Actually, I pick Raven.
Okay. Dom?
I
It
myself.
only just went off right in front of our eyes.
Yes. It
used to be Gar when I grew up, but as I've grown up and read more stories, I think I've realized that I like Corey and Donna as my top 2 for Titans.
Okay.
I
Okay.
None
do
for
have-
Cyborg, apparently.
I do
That's
have
okay.
a
Chaff's
soft
got
spot
Cyborg's back.
for Harold, though. I will say.
Raven is my favorite. Nightwing is the right answer. Starfire, hell yeah. There were a lot of great characters. I wonder if anybody ever says Jericho. I feel like Lars is a Jericho.
Oh, Lars is absolutely a
Is he? I can
Jericho
see that.
Joey fan. He absolutely is. There's no way that he's not. But I also will say you're not a true Titans fan until you start calling everybody by their first names, because that's just
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
Just like
Hey!
a X-Men.
Okay, Ben.
I stand
Towards
corrected
yourself,
then.
Jericho.
Any other thoughts on this era or this book?
Nope.
Okay. We're going to move on to the next book if you don't mind, baby.
Oh.
Wildebeest. That
Okay, here you go.
I never understood that character, but yeah, when you're a kid, it's so different, right? House of Secrets Bronze Age Volume 2, 2027 edition, collecting the exact same material, 112 to 154. And this was voted 104 in our most wanted reprint poll. But because I think they had just reprinted or are reprinting they just reprinted Volume 1 at the end of 2025. Probably why it slid down to number 104. No, that was House of Mystery that they did.
Do you want that on?
Is that right? Yes, please, if you don't mind.
I'm going to look at my archive.
But yeah, House of Secrets, I believe Volume 1 is coming back to print, right? Or is it out? No, it's out now. Oh, hell.
Well, I mean, when they have the same house, man, it's like Cain and Abel, which is going to be your pick.
This is the actual cover that they will use. They won't use the new cover that they had, like whenever they redid them. That was actually Dan Didio's idea, by the way, to remake the covers after Volume 1 and 2. Yeah. Was Volume 1 period accurate paper?
Yeah, it was kind of early in that initiative.
It was, but I don't think that the first printing did. The new printing will have that quote unquote period appropriate paper.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, the new one will have it. So this will obviously have it too.
So Secrets is spooky and Mystery is crime. They're all creepy, but as creepy as you can get when you have to answer to the Comics Code Authority. You know,
Yeah, I'll just say, man, Jerry Grandinetti did some numbers when he was on this book. I fell in love with
hella talent on these books.
Yeah.
Archie Goodwin was
Alex
one of
Toth.
Yeah, they pulled a lot of talent from the Warren Publishing. So a lot of the people from Warren Publishing came over to start doing these kind of horror anthologies. And like I said, it is really difficult to do these kind of stories when you're having to listen to the Comics Code Authority. Anything else about this? Elvira is not as of right now. We're talking about this Elvira's House of whatever it was.
Yeah, that comes later.
Oh, Melanie, what is this?
All right, Melanie. Here's your time.
You got me,
the
Mel.
only reason you joined the stream.
No.
What is
Actually,
this?
I have free time. Batman by Chip Zdarsky, Volume 2.
What's collected in this?
Okay, a lot.
Oh.
1,000 pages worth of goodiness. Wait, read all of it. That's a lot.
Mhm.
Batman 137 through 157. Only Chip Zdarsky written stories.
No backup stories.
Catwoman,
Mhm.
2018, 57 through 58. And then the Batman / Catwoman Prelude to Gotham War #1. The Gotham War with Battle Lines #1. Red Hood #1 through 2. Scorched Earth #1. Story from Batman Black and White 2021. #4. The Green Deal. Absolute Power Ground Zero #1. Stage 2. And Detective Comics number 1027. Many happy returns.
Wow.
Chip was a really happy person when I asked him about what Volume 2 would include, me already knowing what it would have included. But he said that they're really happy that they asked him if they wanted to include Detective 1027 in Volume 2, because that story he did with Matt Fraction, he drew it, and he was really happy about it.
Aw, good.
This is the last part of his run.
Mhm.
I will say, to me, it's not as good as his first part. But if you enjoyed the first part of his run, you'll probably more than likely enjoy this too. Kind of like his Daredevil. I think in Daredevil, the first part was stronger than the last part.
I will say that internet discourse over Gotham War is like having 15 different siblings come over for Thanksgiving arguing about politics. That's all I will say.
Wow, Dom, where are you hanging out? You're not on MySpace, buddy. MySpace ain't nobody
I had
arguing
to
over
ask
this.
somebody at my college about what MySpace was because I had no idea what it was when I came
You
in,
need to
and
shut
my
up
two
right
friends
now.
at the lab left
What?
me.
Are they teaching a history class on what MySpace is?
I mean, I
Yikes.
learned about current politics in a history class I took last semester. So
Can you go to DC Crane really quick?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I need to. Okay, I've heard so many negative things about this run. I'm scared to read it. I'm gonna tell you something right now that I'm sure my panelists agree with, and that is read it for yourself. Everybody on the internet has an opinion, and much like Tom King's Batman, it's very divisive. There are people that hate it because they hate the guy. They never like any of his work. There are people that hate it that haven't read it, and then there are people that hate it because legit they did not enjoy it. I always say read it for yourself and judge it for yourself. It's, it's not my favorite run, but my wife and I differ. She really likes this run. I don't think I would put this run in my top 20 Batman books, but that's okay.
Over the top drama.
There are people that like Mark Miller's Fantastic Four. I didn't even know those people existed, but here they are.
So I have 2 points to make. First, I would like to do a selected reading from some of my reviews that I wrote for myself. I don't publish these on this run, just a selection. Masterclass, hook it into my veins. We're back, baby. This is the good stuff. And my favorite one-liner in all of it, Zdarsky pissing on all the haters. I love this run. I think there's a couple dull issues in it, but I never understood how people were reacting to it negatively. I was having a good time the entire time. So that's my personal half of it, which is just to show you that like everybody's got differing opinions, which is the second half of it is all comics, all forms of media, but especially the big comics like Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men. Not only because there's so much material, because people come to them with so many different ideas, and those characters and concepts contain multitudes. Who is Batman? What is Batman to you? What is a good Batman story, right? Depending on your responses to those questions, you might love or hate all of these big runs. Clearly, there's huge lovers of the Tom King run. There's huge lovers of the Tinian run. There's lovers of the Zdarsky run, but you could also find people trashing all three of those runs. I actually had a bunch of 4.5 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 issues on all three of those runs. So I would say, sample this. This is what DC Infinite is for, y'all. Before dropping all this money in omnibus, I know we're here to talk about omnibuses, but this is $125, and you can get a subscription to 1 month of DC Universe Infinite for what? Like, what is it? Is it $10, I think, for a month?
I think it's like $8 a month USD.
$8 a month. Go on, pay the $8 a month. Every single omnibus in here has at least one issue on there, and just read one issue from every one of these omnibuses. We have 21 new omnibuses that we're talking about today. How many of you read 21 comics a day? I often do. I know Dom and Omar often do too. Sit down with your DC Infinite for $8, read one issue from each of these, and then decide for yourself. Because the wisdom of the crowd is you don't know how that crowd feels about Batman. Do they feel the same way you do about Batman? You don't know.
That's a wonderful way of putting it. The only thing I would change is get a trade paperback instead of a digital subscription.
You know what this made me realize, Omar? We gotta ask Dustin if we can get a compact comic of Batman Failsafe because of this conversation.
I love Failsafe. A lot of people hate it.
Failsafe is so much fun. I love Failsafe. I love the Batman of Gotham with the hyphen. And that 900th issue, man. Peak comics, in my personal opinion.
No, I think that's a good idea. Actually, when we were talking with Chip at the table, this woman was waiting in line.
Oh, yeah.
She was good. She's like, I don't know which one to pick up. And so I suggested Batman Failsafe. I was like, oh, yeah.
She's like, but it was funny because he was talking to me, and she's like, who? I was like, he's not the writer. I'm the writer. I'm the one that wrote that.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Haven't signed that.
Listen to him.
Failsafe should be a compact or night. Good
idea.
idea.
Great options. Yeah.
Read everything.
Also, your local library, Hoopla. There's a lot of ways to sample this stuff. Do not go into omnibuses blind. That is crazy talk. These are luxury items.
And I think of actually Samantha right now. So she's saying read everything for yourself. You might read something everyone hates, but find something you really connect with. I think right now she's going through the Howard Mackie, John Byrne era of Spider-Man. So God bless you, Samantha. I hope you find something, at least one thing you connect with, or you might end up loving it. Okay, let's move on to the next book. That's enough of Chip Zdarsky.
And don't forget to read Sex Criminals. It's the prequel to this.
That's right. It's the prequel to Detective Comics 1027. Chip Zdarsky even told me that. So
Yeah, believe everything Chip Zdarsky says, including his name. May 2027, Omnibus releases and new editions. Look at that. New
Oh.
Titans Volume 2, baby.
Hey,
Dom, take it away.
that's a new cover by Kevin Maguire, who also had a handful in some of these issues of New Titans.
Somebody was just talking about Wildebeest. There we go. Made it on the cover. Although
you got Wildebeest, you got
Not the
Knight
final
Rider,
cover. They're gonna take 'em
Kilowatt,
off, don't
of
worry.
all of these issues collected in here. $150, 1,250 pages. I never thought that this would ever be printed in my lifetime, but thankfully, well, assuming that I survive until at some point at the end of next year, this will be printed in my lifetime.
This would be Volume 7 of the New Teen Titans if you're keeping it that way. But they did decide to renumber it, which
Smart.
I'm very happy with. I'm happy they are continuing the series. So it is George Perez back on Teen Titans. Not a lot of it, but he is here. But this is, I want to say Volume 1 will have some early Tom Grummett stuff, and this will have a majority of the Grummett stuff with Maguire and Bob McLeod. But this is the first time I ever saw Tom Grummett's artwork, and I fell in love with that dude. I was like, why doesn't Marvel steal this guy to draw Spider-Man? And I think they had him for a little bit, and it just never worked out. Is that guy still
I
drawing?
love him. He did a little bit of Generation X, which would have been
Yeah,
this,
that was about it, I think.
Yeah. And so reliable. Like his figure work is so clean and expressive. And I just remember every time I read it with Kid Crisis, and I'm like raving about I'm like, oh, the art in this one's so good. She now is savvy enough to be like, this is gonna be that Grummett guy again, isn't it? Because I just like really love his art.
Yeah, he came in. I think he was the replacement for me for George Perez. Like, oh, this is just as good as the Perez Wolfman stuff. But again, that's probably I think David C said it better when he was asking about Wildebeest. It's a lot has to do with when you were a kid, right?
He's still also alive and doing conventions in Saskatchewan. So if that's something that you want to do and say hi, he is. Well, I'm not doxing him, by the way. This isn't a dox.
I'm sorry, where did you say he's doing a convention? Saskatchewan? Do you even listen to Chapel Roan?
Apparently not.
I mean, you're too old to get that joke. Okay. Dom, let's talk about mapping for a second. Do you think the next one is going to knock out the entire remainder of the series?
I think it will knock out not only the entire remainder of the series. I think in addition to your question, DC, the last time that they decided to, give us the information, the early information given to everybody via solicitations was that it was going to stop literally right in the middle of Titans Hunt. And I think I mentioned before that the page that they were stopping at was literally not too bad of a cliffhanger, but people were mad at it. So they decided to reintegrate some Wonder Girl origin issues in Wonder Woman post-crisis. And they decided to remap Volume 1. So Volume 2 will start off, well, this volume anyways, will start off with Titans Hunt. And like Crisis mentioned, I think that they have more than enough to do another $125 or $150 omnibus to finish out this before we get into one of my favorite eras, which is the Dan Jurgens completely all new, all different Titans in 1996.
I can't believe you like that era. That era should be nostalgia for me, and I'm not even the biggest fan of that era. But I'm glad
you should have seen what Dan Jurgens, like, how he reacted when I told him I was a big fan of his Titans run. He was like, wait, people like that run? And I'm like, I love it. Well, and he was very, very weirded out by it, but
And that's wonderful.
Here, we're just talking about getting to the end of this series, New Titans, which ends at 130. Then there is Team Titans, which is has another 25 issues and 2 annuals. But I think before we get to the Jurgen stuff, right? So actually, it's 2 more books if we include Team Titans.
I think that would be a new line. I can't imagine them wrapping them.
But it's just one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, I have that custom too, and I think my custom is from single issues. I think I have 2 of those. So yeah, you're right. They can probably knock it out in one. Let's get the super chat
for another super chat. Major Hellraiser, Omar, Melanie, Dom, Crisis. Are you guys getting the Absolute Batman Deluxe hardcover edition coming out next year?
I think I'm gonna be talking about it pretty soon on this channel. Omar.
Yes, I will be. Crisis, you're into Absolute, but are you into Absolutes that much that you're like,
I usually don't pick up physical of new books, I will probably make an exception for Absolute Wonder Woman because it's Kelly Thompson and I have just about a complete library of Kelly Thompson. But I will say the one cool thing about all of them that makes me definitely have FOMO, even if they're not all something I need physically, I've been reading them all digitally, is they're going to have all the variant covers in them. So even if you've been getting the digital singles, you know, some of the variant covers and the reprint covers don't exist in the singles and you would have never seen them. I just think that's so cool. I think all first run collections should have variant covers in them. And I think especially a deluxe ought to. So I just think that's a really cool choice. But now I have a question for Major Hellraiser, since he's got so many questions for us. Did you pick up the Hellraiser omnibuses either from the Kickstarter or as they're starting to trickle out into solicits? Do you have Hellraiser?
I haven't,
in your collection?
I don't do boom Kickstarters anymore.
Woo-hoo.
One thing that I know Dom and I we wanted to talk about when talking about the deluxe editions, I don't think they're going to be able to collect all the covers.
Are you saying they lied to me, Omar? They said at the Comic-Con that they would include the covers.
I don't know who told you that, but it's just impossible because it's a lot of covers. They're on the,
it was like a whole other book.
They're on the 12th printing of Absolute Batman with a new cover. Like, they can't keep up.
Neither can Scott Snyder, to be fair.
Did you say Zack Snyder or Scott Snyder?
Did I say Zack? I meant Scott. You know which Snyder I'm talking about, Omar.
The superior Snyder. Hashtag restore
Superior Snyder Man.
Restore the Snyderverse. Omar, does Teen Titans Volume 6 still matter? Of course it does. It's got that original graphic novel by George Perez, so I will remind them that still needs to come out one day.
And it needs to
three people are saying they're doing a cover a book just for the covers. Absolutely.
Yeah, but even that, I don't know if they'll have every single cover because they're still putting out that book in a new printing.
Right. Your point is like, even if they put it out now and they say it as everything, that next month there will be a reprinting of one of those.
You are correcto mundo.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do
That's a lot of Teen Titans talk. I didn't know we were going to be talking about this run for that long.
And he's getting the Hellblazer books for sure, he says. So.
Okay, don't forget to smash that like button, people. And also let us know if you see a book in here that they should add some things to. Wonder Woman by George Perez. Crisis.
Nice.
What makes this such a big deal?
Well, you know, it's nice to get all three of these in print again, and DC has done them pretty speedily. I know you were just showing off your... Hold on, I'm trying to grab it off my shelf. Your volume 2. I have my volume 1 here. I'm waiting for volume 2 to be in my next book. It's in the shrink wrap because I've read it recently in singles. Don't get on my case, people. But I love George Perez's Wonder Woman. It was a complete reinvention of this character for the post-crisis world. He writes it for a solid 5 years, so it's a pretty lengthy run. And volume 3 concludes that run. And now that we have volume 3 reprinted, does that mean the next Wonder Woman book we may get could be Wonder Woman by William Eisner Loebs? I sure hope so. It was in the top 20 of the poll. But yes, this third one completely collects the remainder of the George Perez run. It has the main series of War of the Gods in it. That was a Wonder Woman centric line-wide crossover that was also piloted by Perez. And theoretically, a next book would pick up right after this with Wonder Woman Special and issue 63. There's really no mapping problems to speak of across all three of the Perez books. There's a couple of Wonder Woman appearances that she makes outside of the main Perez run that they have collected elsewhere. So she is in Action Comics 600. They saved that to put in the John Byrne Wonder Woman omnibus, even though it fits in with this run. That kind of stuff annoys me, but that's just how DC does things. That's why I didn't buy them the first time around and why I'm buying them now as reprints, because I finally gave in and decided I wanted all of oversized Wonder Woman. So there you go. I don't know if I would say pick this up if you haven't had the first two. The first one is really like the all-time classic, and then you got to decide if the style of it is worth it to you to keep going. But the thing I love about this run is it's about Wonder Woman. It's about her cast members, about her mythology. It's not really a run that's all about the whole DC universe, even though War of the Gods incorporates the whole DC universe. It's just a blessedly Wonder Woman focused Wonder Woman run, and that's one of the reasons I really love it.
Wonder Woman focused Wonder Woman book. I feel like she said her name 5 times.
Perez.
Yeah, well, we're about to get to a Wonder Woman book that doesn't focus on Wonder Woman in just a moment. So
okay.
Perez does write the whole omnibus. He comes back and does the War of the Gods, along with some early Phil Jimenez artwork on that War of the Gods. And it's amazing just how good Phil Jimenez was even back then. I don't think they've reprinted Volume 1 with the DC Bullet logo.
No, this is the newest reprint from like this past year.
Yeah.
What does your volume 2 have?
The new Bullet logo.
Oh, well then, yeah, they're going to be mismatched.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Send it back. Is there a more recent Wonder Woman? Oh, you were asking the same question,
You were
Jimmy.
asking the
No,
same
I don't think they have.
Thank you for the
Dom?
super chat.
Is that right, Dom?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the newest one for sure. Absolutely for sure.
Oh, and apparently it's out of print again.
So
Yikes.
it might end up #1 on next year's reprint poll. We will have to wait and see.
We will see. We will see. They need to continue Absolute Edition of Perez Wonder Woman. With that only collected the first 12 issues, right?
Mhm. Yeah, Gods and Mortals, right?
Yeah, they can have enough for one more with Perez artwork before he leaves the book. No,
And
I'm
I think
sorry,
those
doesn't
first
leave the
couple of
book.
years are really like I mean, I love the whole run, don't get me wrong, but I think the first 2 years are like
Yeah.
Intention Comics says Wonder Woman has inspired my entire life.
Wow, that is awesome.
That's great. As long as
Did
it's not Injustice Wonder Woman inspiring one's whole life. I think it's a pretty good thing
That's
to have.
true. Intention Comics, do you like the Absolute Wonder Woman run? Kelly Thompson? That's inspiring me.
Yeah, you really like
I
it.
really like it.
I
It
love
goes
books so
Absolute
It's a good dang book.
Wonder Woman, Superman. And I'm gonna read Absolute Martian Manhunter. Oh, you can't see it.
Ooh, very interested to hear what you think about
I
that.
love-
Wonder Woman and Superman are my top 2 as
Yeah.
well.
So much.
Gods and Mortals compact would be fun. I agree with you. You know, if they can do Watchmen as compact with those tiny little word bubbles,
I
sure.
mean, they did Wonder Woman Earth 1 in compact edition, so it's clear that nothing's off the table when it comes to these.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Hey,
Prices back to back.
I have thoughts, but I'll
That's
let
a gorgeous cover.
It is a gorgeous. It's Jenny Frison.
Jenny
isn't it?
Frison. Yeah.
Yeah.
She had the best covers of like the last 4 years of the 2010s for Wonder Woman. At least some
So
of them.
this has only had one deluxe edition. This is the James Robinson run. This would be Rebirth Volume 3 plus a
2.
bunch of other stuff.
After
After
this
this is
Fontana, it's
the
James
G.
Robinson.
Willow Wilson era. Is that
No,
right?
it's Steve Orlando's first stint on the character before he gets the run later.
Okay. So
Since you're the
run
Wonder
doesn't
Woman
get
mega
covered
fan here,
up.
let me fact check you all. This is the second Rebirth volume of Wonder Woman.
No, oversized hardcover.
Oh, well,
That was the James
Yeah,
Robinson. Some
okay,
of this
I
has been
understand now.
collected.
yes.
There we go.
Okay. So I sometimes get so fixated on Omar being wrong that I don't notice when he's
Yeah,
right.
you were
Um,
ready. You're like
You were
Melanie,
ready.
man. You were ready
Yes.
to correct
He
me.
was
I'm
ready.
like, whoa, where does this coming
So,
from? All right,
This
go ahead.
starts out with that brief Shea Fontana arc. Shea Fontana, of course, wrote DC Superhero Girls and is a DC editor. Then there's a lengthy run of James Robinson. Now, look, I know we all love James Robinson. Omar and everyone else in the channel finally bullied me into buying Starman. Congratulations. It's not the most Diana focused run. It's focused on a lot of other characters in her life. It does make Darkseid, sorry, a Wonder
I do
Woman
too.
villain, and that's cool. It has
Good.
Darkseid's daughter. It has some other progeny of some other gods, which is why it's called The Children of the Gods. Then we get one arc from Steve Orlando, which a lot of people that I've seen have said is their favorite thing that he's ever done. It was with Zermanico and art. It's really, really good. And then, of course, that Witching Hour crossover by Tinian, which is also in the Justice League Dark Omnibus. So it stops just short of Gio Willow Wilson and Steve Orlando's lengthier run, which comes after that.
Okay, I love Steve Orlando. I want to read his Wonder Woman run then because he made me like what's her face?
What's her face? Scarlet
Wanda?
Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Woman.
Scarlet Woman.
Okay, I'm gonna go get that one here.
Okay, you go get that book.
I didn't read all this.
I agree. It's not my favorite run on Wonder Woman. It kind of reminds me.
Steve Orlando's?
No, baby.
James Robinson.
I would say it's not as bad as Cry for Justice. I don't hate Cry for Justice or his Justice League as much as other people do. But yeah, it's not one of my favorites. The Steve Orlando story in here is it's solid. It's nothing like that Rebirth Volume 1. So if you fall in love with that Wonder Woman, don't expect the same type of level of creativity from this collection here.
Well, what James Robinson was trying to do in his run was wrap up some loose ends from Darkseid War from Justice League, and I think that Crisis established, and I think I would definitely agree with it, is that it wasn't focused enough on Diana to make it make it worthy. I think it was pretty clear that Jeff probably asked his good buddy James, because those two apparently are really close friends, probably said, hey man, I forgot to wrap up this thread in Justice League. I'm not writing for DC Comics anymore. I'm the president. So can you please write something for me in this meanwhile? And James was like, yeah, man, I got you. I'll write in Wonder Woman right now. Hung up the phone. He wrote some issues, and that's that.
So, you know, if you're a fan of James Robinson, try it out. If you're a fan of Diana, you're already picking this up. If you're a fan of buying Omnis because of covers, I've seen that happen with Spider-Gwen Volume 2. This is a gorgeous cover. That's top 10 images of Diana for me. That's a beautiful cover.
And also, even though I'm kind of soft on some of the issues in here on the whole, there's a lot of good single issues. I'm looking at my ratings now. I have a lot of 4s in there, a lot of 3.5s in there, a lot of great art. Jesus Marino does some of the art in here. I mean, it's not, I am by no means trying to be like, this run is a dog. It's just, Diana, she's not Superman. She's not Wonder Woman, or she is Wonder Woman. She's not Superman. She's not Batman. She doesn't have like 5 titles of her own. So when a Wonder Woman title really starts focusing on the supporting cast a lot, I kind of am like, come on, man, we just have this one book, but it's not bad.
Okay, there we go. Let's move on to the Green Lantern that they added at the last week.
Yes, this is so good.
All right, so I have one thing to say about this, and then I'm going to let you all talk because I know we all have strong feelings and thoughts about this. Somebody on my Saturday live stream asked me, what do I think about Grant Morrison's run on Green Lantern? And I compared it to that video of Charlie Bit My Finger. Do y'all remember what I'm talking about? That video of that kid putting his finger in his baby brother's mouth and the baby brother bites it? You know what I'm talking about? No. Crisis? Dom, I'm talking to both of you. How do you both know what that is? Ouch, Charlie bit my finger. Come on, guys.
And that really hurt.
Yeah, they were like British little kids. Anyway, that's what this feels like, where Grant Morrison is the baby that bit the older brother's finger. And the older brother knows, oh man, it's Grant Morrison. I'm going to love this. And so he puts his finger inside of the baby's mouth. The baby bites it, and he's like, ah, ha, ha, that was funny. And he's like, I'm going to do it again because it's Grant Morrison. I love Grant Morrison. But I also kind of know he gets kind of weird. They get kind of weird. So he puts his finger back in the baby's mouth. And at that point, you see the child's face. He starts crying, and he's like, ouch, ouch. But then he realizes, maybe I don't really have any room to bitch about this because I knew what I was in for when I put my finger in his mouth. And that's how I describe Grant Morrison's Green Lantern.
It's a very weird analogy. I'm not
kind of know what you're in for, but you can't complain when you get into the weird because it's Grant Morrison. Now, what do you all think about this?
Dom?
I'm going to... Okay, so I have 2 things to say. This was pitched to Dan Didio in Glasgow, where Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp invited him to some drinks over at their estate. And Liam said that it was the most high that he's ever seen Dan Didio. And that is how this run was birthed back in the middle stages of 2017. It is a great cop procedural. It is as trippy as you can get. And some of the subtext where Grant Morrison throws Scott Snyder, Tom King, and Brian Michael Bendis under the bus in the Dark Stars limited series. Legitimately some of the best stuff that I've read of Green Lantern in the late 10s anyways. I definitely recommend this run. The second season got a little too trippy for me in singles, but I picked it right back up in trade when that all came out. But this is something that I think if you are looking for a different look on Hal Jordan, this is definitely something that you will enjoy.
Baby, you did a good job with that comparison.
You understood that reference. You understood that reference. People know what they're in for.
Good job, good job.
My point is, you can't bitch about after buying a Grant Morrison omnibus to be like, I'm so confused. This is so dumb. You knew what you were in for.
So this is not for the first time Green Lantern readers.
I will say this. The first 6 issues are, and then it gets nuts.
Can't believe I'm agreeing with Dom over Omar.
Thank you.
Well, that was so interesting about it to me because I'm not a big Green Lantern reader. We know Hal Jordan is one of my least favorite characters in all of comics, and I'm not a huge Grant Morrison lover. So I was like, I guess I'm just going to try a couple issues of this. I kind of loved it. It's just so deeply weird. And I think if I could sum it up without talking for minutes and minutes, because I want to keep moving, is a lot of times Morrison's big titular statement about a run, you have to like really like dig for or like try to understand, and it's kind of obscure. Here it just feels really obvious, like Hal Jordan and his will are a force of order, but the natural state of the universe is chaos. And what happens when you send this very orderly, almost kind of like rigid thinking lantern, which in a way makes him the most powerful lantern, but in a way doesn't, because he sometimes is too rigid thinking to do what he ought to be doing with his ring, into a world, in a world that's all pure chaos. And that's what this run is. It gets weird, it gets silly. I'll say it's a book that made me like, I had to slow down. I had to be like, stop on this panel, linger, go back a page and read it again. And luckily, because it's art by Liam Sharp, all of that effort is rewarded. But I mean, I'm not a Hal fan and I'm not a Green Lantern fan. So maybe to all of y'all, this sucks. But as somebody who's like a Morrison skeptic, but who loves Liam Sharp, I loved this. Even when I hated it a little bit, I still loved it.
Yeah, this is definitely not the stereotypical Green Lantern experience, but I think that's why when I've talked to people who usually do not like this type of series, but like this, they are in love with it, and it makes all the more sense. So if you are looking for a non-stereotypical Green Lantern story drawn by one of, I think, the most underrated artists of the 2010s, you should definitely pick it up.
But Liam Sharp isn't underrated.
Yes, he is.
What?
Yes, he is. He absolutely is.
If he was rated, Starhenge would be selling out like day one every time he puts out a new issue.
It
He's like
is
an
really
all-time
difficult
great.
to sell his book, but I think a lot of people know who Liam Sharp is. Like,
I recognize the name.
okay, but I'm not going to judge it on what my wife
No, that's
recognizes.
true.
She doesn't recognize a lot of names, but he is pretty big. Okay. Just because of my analogy I was making, I was just making sure people understood too. I love this run. There are issues in here that I was like, what the hell is going on? But that's what I love about Morrison. I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm going to get.
When you see Omar
really surprises me.
you walk right up and you bite that finger and you bite it hard.
It's a good bite.
I know what I'm getting. I can't
No,
complain.
he's getting his finger bitten.
Yeah, come on now,
Yeah.
Crisis, keep up.
I said.
All right. Are we ready to move on? This is 776 pages, $100. 24 issues plus the miniseries. So about 24 issues or so.
27. Yeah, that's what that. Well, 28, right? Annual. Yeah, because it's
you're
one
double-siding with
season,
it.
and then they take a break for Liam Sharp to catch up, and they do that middle Black Stars bit, and then it comes back with Liam Sharp again. So it's really like all one series. Truly, like it's not a bunch of separate stuff. It's all one continuous narrative.
Colors with Steve-O Lift, though. Ooh.
Oh,
And
Butterbaker.
you have Zordomanico as well. Hey!
How the hell
Wow.
did you all make this happen?
Wow.
This is
Wow.
I
crazy.
had such a fun time talking about this book with Alex Omar at like 2 a.m. after the Eisners.
This is something that you all created. This is something that you all voted for.
Mhm.
And I know people were like, who hijacked this? But apparently there's this huge fan base of Amethyst fans out there that want this in DC Finest, wanted in DC Omnibus editions. This made it in our top 60. This was number 51. And I remember when we announced this, and then when we did the show with Lars and I think Jess might have been sick, but I finally made a connection. I'm like, oh, Legion fans and Amethyst fans should get together because I feel like they are in that same the Venn diagram, right? Like
Same Venn diagram.
yeah, like I feel like they should hang out. Huge fan following. That's crazy that this made it into an omnibus format.
I'm Amethyst curious. Aw, buying both.
Buying both Omni and Finest.
Okay.
My goodness.
Oh no.
They're already
Buying
with the
Omnibus.
Ollies jokes. Already with the Ollies. Wow. This is something you voted for, so I didn't vote for this, but I'll probably pick it up. Yeah, it's got this remarkable, huge fan base I knew did not exist until a couple of years ago whenever we started running these polls. I have not read
Dr.
anything outside of the 1987 series, and I think that's it.
Well, can you ask for an advance overview?
Sure,
So that people
and I'll
can-
be told we don't
Probably not.
send
Yeah,
those.
yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna have to buy this. Crisis, Dom, have you read any of this stuff?
I was totally unaware of her other than her series from the Wonder Comics era in like 2019, 2020
yes.
with Brian Bendis.
Amy
So
Reeder.
after the poll, I went back and looked at some of this, and I was talking to Farsender about this on my stream the other day, that maybe some of the heat this year came from the fact that she was part of DCKO. I'll say that it's like kind of like a combination. It's like a little bit She-Ra. It's got a little bit of like, it's got that very kind of like 80s animation girl hero thing. But as somebody pointed out to me the other day, it's also a portal hero story where she goes through to this other world and she lives a different life there. The art, I have to say, now that I've gone back and found some samples of it, the art is often very lovely and very fantastical. At one point, it's Rick Estrada drawing it. At one point, it's Ernie Colon drawing it. But like, it's a fun, youthful sword and sorcery book. It's a sword and sorcery book for the teenage set. And if that's something that still delights you, then you'll like it. And if you're expecting some like amazing DC Comics epic, that's not what you're being pitched here.
Well, Malibu Skipper's saying that it gets darkish, lighthearted princess stories. See how darkish really gets.
Yeah, my understanding
there's
is
definitely a seedy underbelly to the whole Gemworld stuff for sure.
So I had no idea Ernie Colon had done it. So he had worked on Conan. So now that piques my interest because the run that I read was the Keith Giffen run. Like I said, I've only read the 1987 stuff. So I know she got her start in Legion. Is that right? Like, is that where she first appeared?
Yes.
Superheroes?
She's ever so slightly connected to Legion. The barest of connections.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited to read it for the first time, legit. Because outside of those 7 issues, nada.
Same here. We're going to be new Amethyst fans when this series is out.
I believe Taylor discussed that already. Harvey P. Carsco.
Jason Kelsey? Hold on a minute. This isn't a football stream. This is what we're here for. Harvey Peaker's Ghost. Although we could get Taylor Swift to be casted as Amethyst in the upcoming Gunn movies.
Okay, sure. She was supposed to be Dazzler, and here I am without Taylor Swift and all the Swifters.
Here you are, Omar.
Swifties.
Okay, we're gonna move on from Amethyst. Is that okay, chat? We're good. Oh hell yeah! Orion coming back, bigger, better, stronger. What do I mean by better, Dom?
You mean better because DC has told us that we can give the green light to say that Walt Simonson was personally consulted for the new mapping of this book because of how many people were dissatisfied.
I'm sorry, we were disassociating.
No, we're not disassociated with the book. Not that we were ever disassociated. But Walt was behind the brand new mapping on this book and all the backups that people were asking for and some of the issues that were also left out. They are going to be in this brand new edition with all the contents that you see on this screen.
I had the original ones, and I don't know what happened to mine. I'm missing that in another Walter Simonson book. Yeah, I didn't have the omnibus. I just had the traits. So I'm excited to get this because it has the better mapping. Okay. And somebody said this is as good as Thor by Walter Simonson.
Yeah, I've heard the same from people who also love the run. Like, it is apparently a sleeper hit, and just because of the way that the omnibus was mapped previously, that it just never got the day of light until now.
I would say I was not a fan of the New Gods up until a few years back, and this is one of those books I got because I love Walter Simonson. It was good. It is, I don't know, man, his Thor run is so good, though. It's hard to compare anything to his, but I like his Manhunter, too. So, anyway, excited that this is coming back with a better map. That's awesome. And yeah, I think most of it has been collected in those omnis before. I'm sorry. Hey guys,
thank you for the super chat.
What are our thoughts on James Gunn DCU? Melanie, ladies first. What do you think of James Gunn's DCU?
Come back to me.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. She likes it.
Don't come back to me.
I'm not coming back to you ever again. I think it had a good strong start. I haven't seen Supergirl yet, so I can't judge it. That's it. I
don't want to see it. I'll just be disappointed. I don't want to see it.
Wow. Okay, it's not a remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's what I want.
Movies are different. Anyway, yeah, I like what he did with Superman. I liked his Creature Commandos. So Peacemaker. I love Peacemaker season 1 and 2. So yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. I saw the Lanterns trailer. I'm excited for that. Dom?
I was going to agree with you, Omar, but Supergirl really deflated me. And Man of Tomorrow needs to be a hit, or else I might have to jump ship.
You didn't. Wow. Giving the guy just one more chance.
Fair weather friend.
I think I made a 15-minute video on why I didn't like Supergirl. So.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Dom is now going to recite that script here for you today.
That's right. That's what we're here for.
Give me the clip notes, ChatGPT. Is that how it works? ChatGPT.
That is definitely not how LLMs work.
Hey, Cliff.
Hi, Cliff.
Okay, Crisis, do you have thoughts on James Gunn's DCU?
No, I mean, I'm a comic book fan. I don't know what these moving pictures you're speaking of are.
I love that you're also reviewing what with us on Wednesday?
Well, they're drawings. That's different.
That is different.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's like we have the comics, y'all. It's like we've got the good shit at home. Why are you paying to go to a movie theater to see the bootleg, unimaginative, filtered down through hundreds of people and craft services, although they work hard, version of the movie when you already have the perfect comic book in your hands? But that's me. That's my style of neurodivergence in that comic book.
I agree.
You're a film studies teacher. You can't agree.
Tom King for giving.
I love movies. I just want to see them make movies of something other than comic books.
Wait, yeah. Okay, North Lake goes agree.
But
There we go.
the point of this movie
Creature Commander is also drawn.
thank you for that. Is to get people to check out the original source material. That's
And
always been the
James
point
Gunn
of it.
did a really good job of that when he announced the 10-movie slate for the DCU.
Go ahead.
I read
All those
Deadpool
trades literally
because-
sold out like 2 months after he announced them.
No, I still agree with Crisis. However, I mean, I genuinely like the Deadpool movies. It made me read Deadpool and Cable, and I love Fabian Nicias' Deadpool. That's the Deadpool for me. Nobody else can hold a candle.
Okay. Well, I like movies. I like being entertained no matter how that entertainment comes. I agree with Crisis is what Warren Weaver says, and I need that on a t-shirt with Warren.
That's right.
Just
The near mint
and
condition
the
logo
beginning
on
of the
it.
hashtag cancel crisis begins. All right.
Okay.
We're going to move on to the
Whip
Flash.
your is what Shonda is saying. Whip your toss.
The Flash by Jeff Johns is coming back to print because you all voted for it. Coming in at number 5 on our reprint poll, collecting Flash 164 to 191, Our Worlds at War, the exact same content as the original printing. I don't know how many times I don't want to make this joke, but it does have a little bit of a slow burn at the beginning. But once he gets going, he does not stop. This ends on such a good storyline. The next one begins on my favorite story that Jeff Johns did for the Flash. If you haven't read it, it's amazing. It's up there with Mark Waid. Sometimes it's difficult for me to answer what's the best Flash run. It's either Jeff Johns or Mark Waid. So it's kind of like Carl Barks and Don Rosa. One cannot exist without the other. But that's just my take.
Terminal Velocity is really good.
Oh no, I've got no opinions.
No
but I do
opinions.
want to point out Carson's saying that the Rogues Gallery doesn't make sense against the Speedster in this volume.
Wait, you like the Mirror Master? Heat Wave? Captain Cold?
Don't
Man,
forget
oh,
Reverse
makes-
Flash,
Oh, shh.
aka Professor Zoom, whenever he wishes.
We don't talk about
we missed
that
the
happens
super
in
chat.
the
Thank
volume.
you.
Here.
It's right here. We are so sorry. Here we go. J. Michael White. Here we go. Sorry. What was wrong with the old mapping? And that, of course, is about
Orion.
Orion.
I think it was it wasn't separated like this one is. This one will be separated by not just story arc, but also publishing order. The other one was kind of putting a bunch of trade paperbacks together into one book. Thank you for that, David C. At least that's the way I remember it.
Yeah, I think it's that the B stories actually continue the A stories, but in the original omnibus, they had them separately, like as if they were two, because they're from two different series. And fans were like, no, there's like an explicit reading order. And I think that's why they're saying they're consulting Simonson. I think it's less that they're consulting him and they're just putting it in the order that he always said that they were supposed to be in.
No, this is in this volume, that does not happen. That Barry stuff happens in the third volume.
Third volume when Flash Rebirth hits.
Omar, Carl Barks assisted years without Don Rosa.
Did they change the?
One-
I like
Wonder-
that. I like that profile picture.
One would think Superman 2025 was not good and Supergirl sucked. The Iron
I
Man
like Superman.
had to come in and say that.
Thank you for the super
I-
chat.
I read that in Robert Downey Jr.'s voice.
So what I was saying is somebody's asking if this is a place. Is this the cover or is this a placeholder? And Dom, you were saying this isn't like set in stone.
Oh,
Correct?
that should be. That was a cover for Volume 1. This should
Oh,
stay.
okay. This is another case.
Mhm.
Okay, just a little bit of brief history. The Flash by Jeff Johns was DC's first true omnibus. Not the one that has this cover, but the original Flash 3-volume series was DC's first attempt at doing a proper omnibus. And by what I mean by that is there have been others that were standard size hardcovers, like the Death and Return of Superman with the newsprint type of paper stock. This is glossy paper stock. Let's do it like Marvel does. And if you have those volumes to this day, they all have different dimensions. Like the length of them have different, not the height, but the length of them. They were still trying to get it right.
Yeah.
But this is the same one as the previous printing.
I'll say I'm not a fan of this cover.
I'm not a fan of the spines that they chose because the spines they chose for all 3 volumes, I think, just has Flash standing there instead of running, which I thought was such a weird choice for a character like the Flash. It's the same mapping? Yes.
You know what we should ask though, Omar? Let's have a match with the Mark Waid spines and the William Messner Loeb Volume 1 spine.
Yes, I will do that. I love. Oh, dude, if you love the Crossfire story in here, yeah, the rest of the Omni's great. All right,
good.
We're gonna move
I feel like
on.
on the reprints, we need to
request.
come up with like a little lock logo to put on them that means like this is exactly the same. Like no tinkering. This is just an exact reprint of the way that it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I will make sure that they reprint the proper one because I know in the past they had accidentally gotten because they have a database, right? So they went back. Oh, let's reprint. What was the book we had to check on, Dom? That you were like, oh, they have the original. Oh, New Teen Titans.
New Teen Titans.
New Teen Titans Volume 2 hit PRH. People were like, what's going on with the mapping? What's going on with the content? So I double checked with DC that they had the right one.
Yeah, we had to send 3 emails for that one.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, that's right. There was a previous volume that had the bad mapping. Okay, we're gonna move on to June.
Yes, the last month
with Legends of the Dark Knight Omnibus Volume 1. That is probably a placeholder image more than likely, but I kind of dig it. This is collecting Dark Knight, Legends of the Dark Knight 1 through 38, annual number 1, Batman 474, and Detective Comics 641. You all got me curious. I'm gonna go check my Jeff Johns Omnibus. I'll be right back.
I remember. Go ahead.
Take over.
That's giving me the cartoon vibes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
90s cartoon.
Yeah.
And that was the issue number 1 cover.
Mm-hmm.
So for people who don't know this material well and have only heard us talking about like how great Legends of the Dark Knight is, I just want to read you. Well, first of all, you have to understand it was direct market only to start. And it was in arcs, which was not always a thing in 1989. And I just want to read you these initial arcs and who the creators were. So the first arc was called Batman Shaman. It was written by Denny O'Neil with art from Ed Hannigan and John Beatty. The next one is Gothic. It was written by Grant Morrison. That's their first Batman story with art by Klaus Johnson. Yes, Klaus Johnson, who inks Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. The third arc was Prey, a very famous story written by Doug Mensch with pencils by Paul Galassi. The fourth arc is Venom, which is an incredibly famous arc written by Denny O'Neil with art from Russ Braun and Trevor Howard. And then we start to get into some shorter arcs still by some recognizable creators. The next arc is Faith, written by Mike Barr. The next arc after that is The Flyer, written by Howard Chaykin with art by Gil Kane. Then we have those crossover issues, which is called The Destroyer. That's issue 27. And then the next arc after that, Faces, is by Matt Wagner, who has not only written a lot of famous Batman stories, but also the creator of Grendel. So we're talking about, this was all-star Batman. This was the biggest creators you could get, both who had written Batman before, like Doug Mensch, and also had never written Batman before, like Grant Morrison, doing 3 to 5 issue Batman stories. That's why I've been saying for years now that we have this will be the first Batman book that gets recommended to somebody's coming in from other media, from movies, from any other place, because this is like the best of short, quick, villain-focused, early in career Batman stories. It's going to appeal to all of the people who like Batman from other media.
I'm going to correct my good friend Crisis on one
Well,
thing.
what did I do wrong?
Oh, can I say it? Can I say
this
it?
wasn't Grant's
Crisis
first
is
Batman story.
wrong.
That was in UK Annual 1986.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Prose though, right?
Not prose,
No, I thought that was a prose story. Okay.
from my understanding. But anyways, what were you saying, Omar?
I just wanted to say
you can slam me for being wrong.
Crisis and Dom were wrong. Omar was right. I was wrong about the cover. That cover sorry, I just want to go back really quick so people know. That cover is actually from the very first printing. You were right, whoever mentioned that. So I will make sure that DC knows about the Brian Bolin cover from the new printing.
It's already on the checklist, guys. We're going to make sure that your complaints are heard.
All right, my dude.
Because you're kind of off the screen.
Oh, that's okay. I think you guys said everything I wanted to say about this. I will say that Venom, the trade paperback, confused the hell out of people that were reading Spider-Man at the time, going, "What Batman fought Venom?
Batman Venom, let's
They were
go."
freaking out. But Venom is actually the drug that Batman takes in Nightfall, or I'm sorry, that Bane takes in Nightfall. Batman becomes addicted to it in the Legends of the Dark Knight. Oh man, this stuff is so good. So
People are wanting to them.
Himself says, "I hope they keep this cover." So.
Oh,
It's just
Tiger
that there's
Eyes,
so
what's
many
up?
issues
I
with great
just realized
covers
that
too.
Tiger Eyes
Like,
is
it's
in the
such a
chat. I feel so bad as a friend.
And we had a couple of super
I'm
chats.
sorry, Tiger Eyes.
okay,
Major Hellraiser, I know they showed it, but I just want to thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Dark Knight.
this was
And
voted number 2.
How many volumes did all Legends of the Dark Knight take? Thanks to you all for the awesome stream.
That is a good question, and I don't know how they're going to map. I'm curious what they want to do once the series stops being standalone Batman stories from the past, and hey, current day Batman stories crossing over with Batman Detective Comics every month, because it went on for a while.
214 issues, and that's not even including the annuals.
Yeah, and by the time you get into Legacy, by the time you get into Contagion, it's crossing over with Batman, like Batman and Detective Comics, and it becomes kind of a current day and just becomes another Batman title. The thing that made it stand out was like, here are stories about Batman and only Batman. And then they started, like, by the time you get into Jim Starlin's The Cult, it will have like what's his name? Jason Todd as Robin. So yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Thank you, MP, for the super chat.
Ooh, that's a good
I
one.
know who is the second most knowledgeable person about Batman in my circles. If there's one thing they should add, it's the Man Who Falls from the 1990 Secret Origins trade paperback. It's the companion story to Shaman. I'm going to write that down because I think
That's a good suggestion.
Right. Thank you.
And The Cult was released the year before.
Yep.
Oh,
In
that's right.
1988.
Where were you, Dom, to correct me? Thank you for that.
Well, you told me that I was wrong, so I was hesitant to correct you to begin
Not
with.
all the time, just that one time.
God damn it,
Best
Omar.
Omni announcement of the last 5 years for DC.
Oh.
I just remember people like seeing people in spaces complain when they saw the Venom reprint, and then I think Gothic also got on Penguin. They were like, man, DC is so lazy that they can't even bother putting these in a bigger format because all they're doing is reprinting the trades. And then we saw this, and we were all happy.
Well, I think it was because they stated it would take a lot of work when it comes to the restoration to put it in an oversized format. But this is also Dustin's most wanted DC Omnibus. So it helped that you guys pushed it at number 2, and we're finally getting it next year.
And I've just checked the complete history of the Marvel poll. The only time we ever had a number 1 and a number 2 announced from the same poll was Uncanny X-Men 4 and New Mutants Volume 1. Were both number 1 and number 2 in 2019. And then they both got announced for 2020, although ultimately one of them came out the following year. That's the only... Yeah, that's... Oh, no, and then Daredevil by Ann Nocenti and Spectacular Spider-Man by GM
I remember
DeMatteis
that
both
year, yeah.
were the 1-2 in 2024, and they were both printed in 2025. So this is a pretty remarkable thing. We've been doing the Tiger Eyes poll for 14 years. We've been doing the DC poll for 3 years. So out of 17 combined polls, this is only the third time that we're getting both the number 1 and the number 2 from a poll the following year.
It's huge.
So
for sure.
You are correct. This is only through July, MT.
Through June.
No, June.
June. Only
They
through June.
both companies have decided to move to a 6-month catalog because it's easier to track with retailers, and it's also 6 months. 2 quarters, easy for everybody to remember.
The good news for that is, hey, you'll be getting video sooner. The bad news for that is that we're only doing 6 months at a time. So take that as you will.
Omnibo, thank you.
Oh,
for
thanks,
super
Bo.
chat.
Thanks, Bo. We love
Thought
you.
This stream has been perfect, as if it keeps me company during work. How much do I have to pay for all future live streams to be the same time? Oh my goodness.
You can send a check through to Dom, and we can make that happen, Bo. The channel takeover is going to happen.
I'm right here.
Oh, shoot. My bad.
We're hidden by the.
Any hints for July to December 2027?
So greedy. We just did 21 brand new omnibuses for the next.
I know. It's like we should love the omnis that we have and find ways to buy them and
it's never about that. It's about the next thing. June, but your video called it every DC Omnibus releasing January to July.
Did I? Oh, shoot. Okay, that's all.
Old habits die hard, Dom.
That is, you know what?
Clickbait, Dom.
What's coming out in July, Dom?
Die hard. I'm used to saying January and July when I put these on StreamYard, though. You have to give me some slack for that.
Sure, you get minus 3 points.
No!
Okay. When's the next DC? And there he is. That's what we're excited for. Fired up. Wow, on the air. That would be so cool.
False advertising.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We're going to fix that right. Wow, he fired himself. I did not kick him out. Did you kick him out, Crisis?
No, I kicked
You're
myself.
so hard on yourself, man. Your generation. My goodness.
Well, I mean.
All right. We're going to move on to the next book, even though this book is amazing. And if you wait till the end of the stream, I may throw a hint here and there. Birds.
Yes!
Hey!
Don't it run!
Wow, you two are really excited.
It's a good book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I could do with a different cover, maybe.
Animation.
You know what? It's Leia Romero. You know what we should do? Because DC has done this with the Batman by Tom King books. What they should do is they should say, hey, Leo, could we have you do a brand new cover for Birds of Prey since you were prematurely taken off of it because of the new Spider-Man show?
I wouldn't be opposed to that. This is collecting Birds of Prey 1 through 28, but we have asked if they could add some things.
Yep.
Haven't we?
I asked for them to add Batman 152, which is a story that she did with Mattia de Ayulis. And I also asked for a Harley Quinn story from Black, White, and Redder to also be added because it would never fit in anywhere else. So those are two things that we asked to add.
I would absolutely agree with both of those. Also, I think there's some kind of like one-page story or like extra text piece in the Birds of Prey Uncovered, which is mostly just variant covers. But when I was researching it for the Tiger Eyes poll, I put a note about that. So Kelly might have written like an intro or a paragraph or something in there that maybe could get picked up. But the great thing is that if they're really just listening to authors, you know, you all have the red phone that you could just pick up and call Kelly Thompson. So I'm sure you could just ask her if she wants to have those issues in there.
We'll call her on the air.
Yeah,
I'm gonna dox her, give her number out.
You're gonna do that. That would be the no. I'm not gonna throw that through.
Call Kelly right now.
I could right now if you wanted. Should we?
Okay.
Should we, Omar?
No.
Call Kelly Thompson. Are you crazy? That's how people get canceled or blocked. Kelly Thompson said she would look into adding Batman backups to the.
There you go. See, she's on it.
Somebody's already called her. We already called DC our friends, and I think they're still. I thought they said they were going to.
Yeah, no. Dustin also gave me about it at the lunch table because what happened was I emailed Omar the wrong issues, the accidental wrong issue. Fake Kelly Thompson fan. And Dustin was like, why did you want that Teeny Howard story added in this Birds of Prey omnibus? It has nothing to do with this. And I was like, Oh
You
shoot,
got
that's
called
right.
out. He said, "You think all women are the same, Dom?"
I didn't say that. As somebody who's interviewed Kelly like 5 times, I feel even worse that this is coming.
And then ending right here.
Yeah, I love this run. I think the number one issue of this run is one of the best number one scripts I've ever read. I think it has absolutely phenomenal colors throughout from a couple of different colorists that really unify the art, even when the artists change. It's just joyful. It brings us the delightful combination of Cass as Batgirl with Big Barda, which you would think could go on for 100 issues. It's just so great. Yeah, just absolutely spectacular. Very fun comics. Highly enjoyable.
You got Sami Basri on art. You got Juan Cabal for a couple of issues, which I was also very surprised by. And I think Kelly was also surprised when DC editorial asked, "Hey, would you like Juan Cabal to work on a couple of Birds of Prey issues?" So that was also
Who I
pretty fun.
love. And then
Yes.
who was coloring when Sami Basri came on? Was it Nolan Woodard? It was somebody other than Belair, but it really
wasn't
kept the
Nolan.
field really well.
Man, I feel like a really fake person now. Shoot.
Oh, 'cause
I
you don't know
I
one
know that I
colorist
should
in
know this off
specific
the top
issue.
of my head. Who is
I'll
it?
find it. I'll find it.
Really quick, is this as good as the Dixon and Simone run? I
think
really
so.
like this run. That is a tough question to answer because to me, I
It's
think Gail
great.
Simone's run is the best, but also the difference. I'm gonna answer it this way: the difference between Gail Simone and Kelly Thompson is Gail Simone stayed on the book long enough for you to go, "Oh, that wasn't a good arc. That wasn't as good as her first few arcs," or "Wow, that arc wasn't good at all." Whereas Kelly Thompson, the entire time, it's like, "Wow, this is really solid," and then it got canceled. So
I also happen to think that I like the stories and plots in this book more than Gail Simone's. Also, the colorist was Adriana Lucas, who also
Yeah, one of
colored,
possibly my favorite
Yeah.
colorists at Marvel and DC right now. Yeah.
who also colored Amance Nahuelpan on Hawk Girl with Jazzy Axelrod, and also Bruno Redondo famously on Nightwing.
Yes.
But yes, I will tell everybody you should buy this omnibus because we need more Kelly Thompson omnis, and we also need more stories out like this. Very much in the same way as like I was very surprised when they were so close or very quick with the Tom Taylor Nightwing omnis. It's really nice to see DC doing omnis of more recent books. This happening to be the first Dawn of DC omni that we've gotten, and also one that just happens to stand out as a really good book.
I would say it's not as good as Simone's, and probably up there with Chuck Dixon. I really like Chuck Dixon's Birds of Prey, though. Probably about the same level. I don't know how Crisis feels, but I think Dom said is this better to you, Dom? Is this better than?
I just like the plots in this book more than Simone's and way more than Dixon's. So that's just me.
I mean, Kelly Thompson is my favorite comic book writer, so it's hard. It's like, yes, I like it more, but it's like she's my favorite comic book writer. I don't, I'm always gonna like it more. If she wrote X-Men, I'd like it more than Chris Claremont. Like it's Kelly Thompson.
No, no, you need to be quiet right now.
No. It's okay. That's a valid feeling.
I just am trying to put, because somebody on Discord asked me, and people rightfully footnoted, like, you cannot 100% trust Crisis here because Crisis just always finds Kelly Thompson amusing. Like I don't really have a lot of objectivity in this particular regard.
Yeah,
I got you. Thank you for the super chat, David. How about that Starman Omnibus, though?
Yeah, by Roger Stern. I can't wait for that one too.
Wow.
You don't like Roger Stern?
We know the one you mean. The real ones know the one you mean, David. One day, right? One day.
Which run he's
I'm hoping.
about.
One day. Yes. We'll probably get the Roger Stern compendium one day, though. Yeah. All right. We're gonna move on to the next book. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes.
I'm so surprised that they decided to go backward on. Well, this is obviously the Jonah Hex 2005.
Well, because
series.
they needed two volumes. Well, no, wait. Yeah, 2 volumes.
Yeah, this would need 2 volumes just as much as
the new 52 only required 1 volume.
Yeah,
so
52 only required 1, but this needs 2.
Yeah, so it made sense. I'm okay with that. But man, even that Frank Quietly, I think, that cover's so awesome.
It's a good cover.
I hope they don't change it. I love the stuff in here. The first 35 issues.
I agree.
By Palmiotti and Justin Gray.
And
Palmiotti
Tony
found out
Canzanilla.
about this. He's so excited about this book. I don't think we had spoiled it when we went to San Diego Comic-Con. That's when we saw him and Amanda. I was.
Oh, I
'cause he
talked
had-
about it with those two.
We're not supposed to, dumb.
We're not.
Because sometimes they don't tell them.
But they brought it up.
Well, if they brought it up.
No, well, yeah, like we were talking about the Power Girl Omni, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I got like a Jonah Hex one on the way to." I was like, "Oh shoot."
This stuff is, to me, better than the All-Star Western. It's excellent. It's gritty. It's dark. Lot of throwbacks to the classic Jonah Hex stuff too. And if you did not like his and Amanda Connor's Harley Quinn, it's a lot different than that. Please don't judge it on like Harley Quinn, where because I think Crisis described Harley Quinn probably the best way possible. It's not everybody's type of humor.
This is like, I think Palmiotti is made to write this. Like, this is exactly the kind of, not that it's like a funny book or not a funny book, like, but it's dark and it's gritty, and I think that is where he thrives. I know he's also a very funny writer, and he's writing a lot of funny stuff, but I just like him better on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's some dark stuff in here, dude. Like, almost like from hell type of stories in here.
Yeah,
like really dark stuff. So I'm a huge fan of this run.
Yeah, this is like Marvel Knights Jimmy Palmiotti, not Harley Quinn Jimmy Palmiotti.
Yeah, absolutely. Have the new 52 Jonah Omni. Should I wait to read till I get this?
No,
you don't have to.
No.
It stands on its own. These are just like even Jonah Hex stories through here take place at different times, different years.
Yeah, the whole point with New 52 is to give people a clear new jumping on point for the character. These are two clear new jumping on points. One just happens to be in a spot where, oh, we have Crisis on Infinite Earths. The other one is Flashpoint. It's just pick and choose which tone you want.
Yeah, super excited for people that haven't had a chance to read this. Those trade paperbacks have been long out of print. I think they just started a reprint on
volume 1 just got put in not too long ago for the previous catalog.
Let's see here. And Neil Adams Batman Omnibus. That is the Bronze Age Omnibus. They have retired the Neil Adams Batman Omnibus, which has the new inks, the new colors, and also Batman Odyssey. I don't know where. No, I think Batman Odyssey did come out in deluxe edition, so you can find that pretty cheap.
But if you want just the Neil Adams stuff, they are coming out with the two absolutes of his Batman run or Batman stuff from 1967 to 1996. Volume 1 will collect material from 1967 to 1970, and the second volume will collect material from 1970 to 1996. If that is something that you want, just Neil Adams, no Irv Novick, no Dick Dillon, no anybody else, just your Neil Adams. That is something that you want to get.
Unless you're really, really wanting the new inks and the new colors, then you have to find an out of print Neil Adams Omnibus. And
or you can ask Jess for the one he poured root
I was going to say, there's one in a landfill somewhere that has root beer all over it. They have to dig that one.
Oh, Jess doesn't like it?
He hated what Neil Adams decided to do on the book.
Oh.
Ink it and recolor it. Okay. We're going to move on to the next book, and that is Suicide Squad, wrapping up John Ostrander's Suicide Squad. Holy crap, they added the Suicide Squad Race the Flag in there. This stuff has been collected in trade paperbacks fully, but not mapped like this. This does not leave anything out. It also includes Batman Chronicles number 5. That is so freaking cool. That's the Oracle Year 1 story. But this was number 101 in 2026, probably because we knew that Volume 1 was coming out, and it's a new era of DC. We know that they're going to wrap these up, and I'm so glad. It's crazy. I thought this would be done in 2 Omnis, but the amount of content that they have put into these books is just insane.
Yeah, so, I feel the same way. Like, I was like, what, 3? Would get the hook, get him off the stage. We should have done it in 2. But no, now that I see this map, it was worth it.
Mm-hmm. I will also say I want to give a big shout out to John Ostrander, who managed to push out a really bad fridging, in my personal opinion, of a character very well beloved by fans. in Batman: The Killing Joke, and making Barbara well optimized again and having a really, really amazing role as Oracle. I don't think people talk a lot about, oh yeah, Alan Moore did that. I think it really is John Ostrander who managed to give us a version of Barbara Gordon that a lot of people can connect to. A lot of people also recognize, and that shouldn't go by the wayside. So shout out John Ostrander for doing that.
Yes, if you're watching, John, thank you for everything you've done. You are living the good life right now with all these books with your name on it, and hopefully we can keep getting more as the years keep going.
Hawkman next time,
Right.
please.
I want to see June be Ostrander month at DC in the DC Omnibus schedule. I want another Ostrander book every June. Let's get some Firestorm. Let's get some Martian Manhunter.
He's
Let's
got a
keep it
lot
up
in
rhythm.
there.
June
definitely has
Strander,
a
is that
material.
what we're naming it? Ostran June?
Yeah, same. Even with Gail Simone writing that character, it's just so hard to get back. So Oracle was Kim Yale's idea when they were co-writing Manhunter. Yeah, that was. I think he actually says that in the opening of one of his books. Of I think Suicide Squad. Actually, he talks about Kim.
I don't have the Omnis. I only have the DC Finest.
June Ostrander. I like that.
June
Okay,
Ostrander. Okay.
let's move on to the Legion of Super Heroes. What?
I completely forgot that I did this when I made this.
When I saw that, when I had to put the notes in, I like fell off my chair.
Okay, Legion of Superheroes, the Great Darkness Saga Omnibus. If you, Dom is kind enough to put a big sticker of the DC logo there, in case you haven't read the story from the early 1900s or 1980s.
1900s.
Lars.
Long live the Legion.
Maybe. Dude, here's the thing. On this channel, I know people laugh about this, right? Like, oh my God, that's like 1980 stuff. Quit being so spoiled. Okay. Stop being so spoiler sensitive. I had this MFer go off on me on my overview of Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 2 because I talked about the Dark Phoenix saga and I mentioned what happens at the end. And he was like, why would you spoil that for me? I've never read this. And I'm like, okay, you know what? From now on, I'm effing doing this. Like, I'm not going to go into big spoilers. This is so stupid, even though it happened 40 plus effing years ago. Anyway, this is the one that I will say DC said they don't know exactly about the mapping yet, about the content and the mapping. So keep that in mind when we're looking at the content of 284 to 313, because there were questions asked about DC Finest. They're trying to figure that out for us. Once we have that, I will make sure you all find out. Don will do some kind of updated video.
I will. There is also, I will also say, there is an updated video coming out tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for 3 books that one of them was covered, but 2 here were not covered. So we hope that at least
you can't, it's not omnibuses.
2 of them are not omnis, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought you're holding out on us.
Why would I upgrade from the deluxes? Because you love the word omnibus.
And you want to be spoiled by the cover, obviously.
Well, the cover's on the
all of that stuff. Hold on, let me fire up the Legion guide.
All spoilers all the time.
Yeah, that's why spoilers
I think
on
this actually contains a couple of stories that were not in the deluxe edition, but everything else has been in there. I mean, if this is an omni, we should get.
So the deluxes only have the main issues and annuals 1 through 3.
Oh, that is true. Even the new printings of the deluxes do have glued binding. They don't have sewn binding.
So the DC Comics Presents stories, I don't think are in the deluxes. I don't think anything other than the. And also, I am pretty sure that the deluxes have annual 3.
They do, but they don't have the World's Finest issue.
But why doesn't this have annual 3?
I can go get it because omnis are life. My question wasn't sarcastic. I was asking, why is there any reason to upgrade? We're
working on it.
I don't think I was being sarcastic with my answer. People were saying it's got glued binding, and this one actually has a couple more issues. I'm sorry, my voice always sounds like that. So Melanie,
it does.
Yeah, Melanie doesn't know when I'm being sarcastic or not.
Yeah.
So, what is the Fourth World Omni Volume 2 missing? I have that. I don't know. Wait, why are we asking about? I'm sorry, my brain is on Legion of Superheroes right now. I'm gonna go get my deluxe hardcovers. Not to you, Omar. Talking to Carson. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm getting in the middle of an argument. I'll excuse myself. Melody, could you get that super chat?
Long live the Legion and Tension Comics. Let's go make sure that we get the Baxter Omnis at some point next.
Right? Where are they?
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the
You
super
have
chat.
resting, sarcastic voice. Yes, he does.
Okay,
You know
so
what? He's not wrong. I literally had to ask him like if he was joking. At least 25%.
I forget that. I'm so sorry. See, that sounded sarcastic.
I'm looking at the indicia of the curse right now, and it has annual 3.
Yeah. Okay, so this has annual 1. The
Right.
God damn it! I spoiled it. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, Omar!
Dang it.
This has 284 to 296 plus annual number 1. And then the curse has not my readers, 297 to 313, as well as annuals 2 and 3. Whereas this doesn't. But again, this is the one book that DC said, hold on, we're going to look at it again and we'll give you the right information once we have it together.
So the definitive answer to why would you want this other than your hardcovers is that it does have a few extra issues and stories that the hardcovers don't. And it's an omnibus. And that this is not necessarily the final contents. So maybe there will be even further improvements to offer in the future.
That's why you were asking about Fourth World Volume 2. Thank you so much. Fourth World Volume 2, I know, does not have... It has part of the annual, and it doesn't have anything of the curse. This book right here, which contains issues 297 to 313. As a matter of fact, I don't think it even has the beginning of 284. So... hopefully the next DC Finest Legion volume doesn't take another 3 years.
Yeah, preach.
Okay, let's move on to... Oh my God, they're doing it,
Omar.
and they're doing it right, baby. Give me that Millennium. Is it good? Absolutely not. Do I want it? Yes.
He just wants the Joe Staten art and oversized.
Look how good it is. It was ranked number 250 in our most wanted. I think I voted for this damn book.
It's top 250. You can say that.
Yeah, so it has been released in trade paperback, but now it's coming out with those ridiculous tie-ins that have nothing to do with the event. This is for sickos. Wow, sickos.
What's next? Should Omar have been stuck in that millennium?
Wow, for sickos. Yeah, this has been released in trade paperback. The actual tie-ins, most of them have been released in a trade paperback edition. Some of them have made it into omnibus, but it seems like DC is having the mentality of like, hey, let's get these suckers out. Let's do Legends. Let's do Millennium. You know what that means? Crisis, Invasion. Oh,
soon, and then Armageddon after that.
A couple of years from Armageddon 2001, baby. Woohoo!
Dan
I think I'm
Jurgens,
the
please
only
save
one
me.
excited about that book. Mad respect to DC for committing to material like that.
I like that. That is a good
Love
stutter
crossover
word.
events. See, I'm a guy that loves crossover events, though, so it's not for everybody. It's not that good of a story. I just like the idea. This is if you've read Secret Invasion, it's very similar to Secret Invasion, where you have a bunch of sleeper manhunters that are waking up going, hey, I'm a manhunter all along. Or if you've seen what's that show called that went to hell? It was a remake of that's Galactica, Battlestar Galactica. Where a bunch of people start waking up. Yeah, that's it, man. Steve Englehart, Joe Staten. Those are the main creators on the book. Oh my God, Warren and I actually agree on something. Armageddon.
That's right. Put it on a shirt.
No, we don't need that. Can we get Englehart on the show to talk? I would love to get Steve Englehart on the show. Probably not to just talk about this, though. I don't think
No. You know what? Do it just for the simple fact that, like, he might be the only person who's like, man, I don't care about any of your other stuff. I just want to talk about the stupid Millennium book.
Let's talk about Millennium and only Millennium.
And then every time he starts pivoting, just ask him another Millennium question.
Yes,
exactly.
There are dozens of us. You're not the only one who wants Armageddon 2001 with the original ending.
Thank you for the super chat, Puddin' Tame.
Yes. Give it to me, baby. Give me all the bad with the good.
I am
Battlestar
more than happy
Galactica.
with waiting for this
Oh,
to
I'm
to
so
hit
sorry.
DC Finest.
If you like Battlestar Galactica all the way through its ending, then that's wonderful for you. I forget. I'm not here to judge. Genesis wasn't until much later. Genesis was what, 1997, 98?
Yep.
Yeah, it was that. It's actually collected in John Byrne's Fourth World Omnibus. This is my number one. Are you kidding me, dude?
That's super
awesome.
cool. You know what? Shout out David C. 19 whatever number 4.
Wait. Is this real? Lantern? No, you're messing with. Is Lanterns really big? No, it's
No,
not.
no. There's a good amount of stuff in Lanterns that will be inspired by Millennium.
I love Billy Collins as well.
Peter Gabriel's. Never mind.
Oh.
Getting closer to Legends of
I hear
the
your Genesis joke. I hear it.
You know it. You know it. All right. Are we not? How are we not done? All right, Dom, take it away. What is this?
This is the second volume of Justice League of America, The Silver Age. A lot of the issues in here, by a lot, I mean like pretty much every single issue in here is written by Gardner Fox with art by Mike Sekowsky. A lot of these stories are pretty much your same standard villain of the week, just happens to disrupt the Justice League points somehow. This did move down from 2005 to 2026 by 21 spots. If you are a big Mike Sekowsky fan like I am, it definitely belongs somewhere on your shelf. If you don't care for Justice League or Mike Sekowsky at all, this is an easy skip, but I'm really glad that they are doing this volume 2. I'm really glad that we have a Darwin Cook cover to commemorate this, and I'm happy that this omnibus exists for that reason, I guess.
Okay. There are thoughts about certain writers.
I don't know about worse. I think he is not one of my favorite stylized writers, but I really do appreciate how much of DC he constructed in the 1960s with characters that are still very much around today. You know, he was the guy who brought us Hal Jordan and Barry Allen. And even if you aren't a fan of those two characters would then later spot on to give us more a fan favorite legacy characters like your Kyle Rayners or your Wally West. I think he's underrated in the fact that people don't appreciate his achievements and the creations that he's had over at DC. But I will say that there are a lot of other writer styles that I do prefer, even over at DC with guys like Arnold Drake, much over Gardner Fox.
I really like this question. Why not use original art from that period? I love Cook, but I prefer vintage art. I think DC probably wanted more people, like a casual, to pick it up. And even though it's got that cartoony, almost like a Silver Age type of art, it still looks modern enough to go, huh? Well, maybe the stories aren't going to be as bad as I think they are based on that cover.
I remember being 17 years old at my local comic shop, picking up one of those Teen Titans, like it was a Silver Age trade, because of the cover. I didn't know anything inside. Did I regret that decision? Well, no, because I learned a lot from it, even though I've read a lot of better Teen Titans stories and watched some other Teen Titans stories that I much prefer. But, you know, learning experience for me, but that's how they get people. That's how they definitely got me. Shoot, 8 years ago? Holy snap, it's been a while.
Oh my God, you're so old. Okay. Crisis, thoughts on Wonder
Dom,
Woman?
I want you to know that I've grown up watching your channel.
Oh, that's definitely not true, but I appreciate you, Crisis.
That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen one day, and we're gonna freaking just vanish away. Okay. I'm gonna move on. People are asking to fight in the chat. We've gotten to that point of the video where people
Well, I mean, we are literally almost done with the slides, so yeah.
Wow. Crisis, what is this nonsense?
So what's really interesting here is DC had already started reprinting the Golden Age Wonder Woman line, but now they're going back to the beginning and reprinting the Golden Age Wonder Woman line, I assume to get it on the new paper. Which is interesting because we only have one more Golden Age Wonder Woman left to do, which is Golden Age 7. So it would be a little bit rude if they only put Golden Age 7 on the new paper when all of us big Wonder Woman fans have the first 6 on the old paper. But this has been reprinted pretty recently. I mean, this material is amazing. If you've never read Golden Age Wonder Woman, especially this first volume of Golden Age Wonder Woman, this is some of the best Golden Age comic books out there. I mean, it's not just like one flash in the pan great issue. It's you have to be ready to read issues from the time. But it just the amount of social commentary, the amount of lovely art of all this largely female cast, which is not something you saw a lot in the Golden Age. I will forever love this material. I've loved it ever since I was a little kid. My Kid Crisis, loves it and has read all of it. I highly recommend. If you're Golden Age curious, you could do a lot worse than reading Golden Age Wonder Woman.
You know what? I will actually continue that endorsement and say that this, of the 3 Trinity Golden Age titles, I prefer Wonder Woman of all 3, and I actually do quite enjoy this title.
I agree with both of you.
Yeah, I had even more appreciation of this era because of a book that Lars recommended to me back a year ago, titled The Secret History of Wonder Woman by Jill Lepore. Absolutely wonderful book, and just how she gets to where the inspiration from Marston came from, also using his actual real life experiences to draw, in this title. And I think if it were any other pulp book in the 40s, I don't know if Diana continues being a mainstay, but considering the context and the times and all of the social commentary that was added to Wonder Woman, there is a reason to why she is one of the longest lasting characters and images ever in comics. And I don't think I think we dedicate a lot to that, not only to Marston, who was able to really do these stories well, but I think it also should go to H.G. Peter, also did a pretty fantastic job on the art as well.
Okay. Love all of Jack Cole.
Yeah, shout out Jack Cole. I really enjoyed that Plastic Man DC Finest too, even if some of the humor is dated.
Okay. And with this book, that wraps up the catalog.
A lot of Wonder Woman in the catalog.
A lot of ways. Shout out DC.
Before anybody leaves, I did promise some hints as to what's coming next. So
common sense about really quick.
Oh, what was it, baby? I'm sorry. Was there a question that you guys can answer while
I was going to read it?
Okay.
I read Golden Age Wonder Woman comic for the sake of study to make a Wonder Woman animated series.
Oh, that's
very cool.
Very cool.
That is really cool.
Elevate Wonder Woman's Rogue Gallery. Okay. So you guys take some questions. I'm going to look and see what I can actually say without getting in trouble.
Interesting.
I can hit at. Let's see.
Let us know in the chat while Omar looks that up, which omnibuses that you guys are most excited for. I know that for this catalog, there has to be a lot of Batman fans screaming in glee. Same for Cassandra Cain fans who are definitely out there. I just remember when that video dropped, just going on my TL on Blue Sky and seeing the jubilation of an actual omnibus of Cassandra Cain's being reprinted, making me very happy and warmed my heart. So let's hear what you guys have to say.
Well, Dom, what is your most wanted book out of this catalog, or most hyped to buy on day one?
Birds of Prey by Kelly Thompson, actually.
Ooh, the most modern book in the entire thing, other than the Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Yeah, I've double dipped on some of those singles because I'm a sucker for variants, and just like you, I'm a very big Kelly Thompson fan. So that is a day one for me.
I think for me, it's probably Wonder Woman Bronze Age. There's some of the issues in there we've never had in color. And also that's where my single issues start. And I could never buy a few of the ones from 12 Labors and before, because they're keys. They're like soft keys. They're not big deal, but I wasn't going to spend, $50 per issue to get them in decent condition, just to have them as readers or to bind them. So to me, this is like historic that we're getting this in color. And honestly, at DC, there's so much left to collect from the smaller characters who've never had color collections. I mean, that Hawkman DC Finest was some of the first time we've got some of that in color, I think. But yeah, this is a really big deal to me. So but there's a lot in this catalog that I'm very interested in. DC is really doing a number on me as somebody who doesn't usually buy oversized DC.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with the Legend of Wonder Woman DC Finest as somebody who hasn't read most of those stories before. So this is definitely I am aware of what this era entails and the creators behind it. It is going to be very nice to be able to read a lot of this for the first time. And shout out to them on the new mapping too, because the original mapping was supposed to strictly be up to like whatever 233, 235. But this is the correct mapping of Wonder Woman: The Bronze Age that you are seeing on screen. Well, I am done with life. To be completely fair, I did consider Legends of the Dark Knight as like my most favorite or like most anticipated, but you gotta support people in your community, and that's what I'm here for.
Omar, what are you most excited for?
Probably. Oh, I know mine.
Big one. Legends of the Dark Knight. Supergirl.
Supergirl.
Tom Strong for Warren. That's a good pick.
Supergirl by Peter David. Volume 1.
By Peter
Super
David.
excited for that. What about you? What are you most excited for? Let me guess.
Chips.
Oh, you can flip through there and I can give some hints as to
Yes.
I figured out how to word it without getting in trouble.
There you go. That one.
I'm in my Chip Zdarsky Volume 2. Here in Brazil, Omnibus are very, very expensive. Here in America, they're very, very expensive too. So you are not alone, my friend. As far as hints for things that are coming in the last part of 2027, I will say DC has gotten to this era where now we're getting to volume 2s of things that we haven't seen in volume 1 like for a long time. Like, we've had a volume 1 just sitting there for years, and now we're getting into volume 2s. There's also some love. So I hope you all love the New 52. There's a few series in here from the New 52 that surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah, same here.
Continuation of some things from the Silver Age, continuation of some things from the Bronze Age, actually wrapping up a particular series from the Bronze Age. And then some surprises that when you see, you're going to be like, oh, awesome. And then some more reprints from our reprint poll. So just to answer some questions, there's some Superman, there's Wonder Woman, there's Batman, and then a couple of events. And I think that's pretty much the hints that I wanted to give. So let's go back to the very beginning.
A green team. Oh my gosh, green team U52 Omni.
Oh man. And Prez, don't forget Prez.
I want that
That's
Frankenstein in omnibus format one day. I want to thank everybody so much for being here. I want to thank my wonderful co-hosts who took time out of their day, including my wife, who's starting to teach here in a couple of days. She just wanted one big hoorah to come in and talk to you all for a little bit before she goes back to that normal work life.
Yeah, I'm actually ready, which is strange.
Yeah. So
I had free time.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to DC for listening and even taking some consideration into what we've suggested as far as additions. Yeah, man, it's been amazing. It's been night and day just how much they've changed over the years. So couldn't be doing this without you all, people watching at my wonderful panel. Serious note, with so much negativity in the world, NMC is such a delight. Thank you for constantly taking my mind off of bullshit. I love this community, and we love you right back, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I love comics, because I love escaping reality. I hate reality sucks sometimes, and this was always been my escape. So now I get to talk about comics with a lot of friends online, which has honestly something that I never thought I could do for a living. And yeah. It's amazing. So thank you all.
Nick, the rest of the catalog will be on Friday.
Oh yeah, we're doing the catalog at 6:00 p.m. Eastern time.
So the same time when this started.
No, we started at 6:45.
That's right. We started at. Listen, man.
What time zone are you in? You're 45 minutes off.
My time zone, the best time zone, the Dom zone.
Eastern, baby. Crisis, what about you, buddy? What are you working on your channel? Where can people find you? What are you doing?
Well, this month is the 26th anniversary of Crushing Crisis, which is in 2026. That's not a surprise because it started in 2000. Math works that way, but it's also the 26th anniversary on August 26th. So that's a pretty big deal for me. So I'm going to be on my channel so much this month and on Near Mint Condition so much. I'll be back again this week for Reels Talk. I'll be back again for at least some of, if not all of, the catalog show, and then Omar and I are cooking up some other stuff in the background as well. On my channel, look out for a recap of all of the DC Finest line coming up sometime soon. And if you're not just a DC person, I've already done that for the Epic Collection line, both classic and modern. So if you're the kind of person who's a visual learner and you want to understand what the gaps and maps are remaining in the Epic Collections, just head over to Crushing Crisis and you can see a lengthy video describing all of that. And just last week, we ranked every X-Men writer ever, and that was a lot of raucous fun. I'm not sure Omar would disagree with almost all of it.
I'm disagreeing without even looking at your ridiculous list. But you know, I love you, and that is a big reason why I do, because I found someone online that has all these hot takes, but has their own personal taste when it comes to comics, comes at it a lot different than I do, but can also carry a wonderful civil conversation without getting upset unless we're joking. Like, people tend to get heated when it comes to these things, right? And it's so weird because even when I worked at comic book stores, people would get heated over comics and just how serious they are, which I get it. It is a little serious, but it's just nice to have a civil conversation with somebody that is so wrong all the time. And that's what I love. And Dom, my right-hand dude, what about you, man? What do you got cooking on your channel?
Well, I actually just wanted to quickly say thank you for because I woke up to this. I want to thank everybody who's been subbed to my channel for the last 2 years as I today hit 5,000 subscribers.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I just remember when I immediately got to 1,000 within the span of doing my own videos, like going solo. And over 2 years, it's just been, well, a lot of work, but also, you know, helping curate this channel because of the wonderful community we have here. But also in mine, where I think I've also carved out a niche as the guy who talks about books being pushed back, like the bearer of bad news. But it's something that I definitely do appreciate. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for that if you are subscribed to my channel. I am working, just like Crisis and perhaps some other people too. I do this every single time the catalog drops. I go over literally every single book in detail with commentary and graphics and collects and information. Part 3 is dropping tomorrow, which is the last part. But I am also dissecting all of the compendiums, compacts, deluxes, absolutes, finest, and omnibuses for the next couple of days after that. Literally right up before the semester to my brand new university year. So that's all going to be fun, but don't worry, I'm okay because all of my classes are online this semester, so I won't be moving as much. I'll be talking about all the DC Finest books with Curtis as well, where we do those every single last Friday of the month, and I have a lot of fun with him there. And I also have all of this on my site, which is also, I'm sure James has linked as well. All the books are there to be viewed. I know I've said a lot, but I really do thank you guys for giving me a platform to talk about comics and my idiocy here. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, congratulations.
And
That's awesome.
on that note, I will end it with this. Omar Crisis Omar, do you think
Omar
we'll get
twice.
a Vendetti? Oh, I like that.
Omar twice. That's
And
crazy.
We got two Omar. Oh, now I might have to give a bigger hit than I thought. Do I think we will see it anytime soon? I will say we will probably see that in 2020 something. How about that? Not 2030 something. 2020.
We're working on it. We got Brian Hitch on the backlog, baby. We're gonna get that sneak Qatar.
I don't know what kind of pull
sure
Tom has with Brian Hitch, but I do not.
No, I have no. I'm not. No, I don't have any beef with. I love Brian's art.
No,
Pull. I don't know why I made that.
Oh my gosh.
This is how tired I am. Let me just say, the work that we've put into a lot of this DC stuff has given me. I can't even say anything anymore. That's how brain dead I am right now.
Welcome to my everyday, my brother. All right, I am out of here. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. And I'll be back tomorrow to review Spider-Man Brand New Day with Batmantha and Oddfell. Maybe Melanie. Maybe Melanie. And then Wednesday, I'll be back live with Oddfell, Crisis, and a couple of other surprises at 8 p.m. reviewing X-Men 97 Season 2. Thursday, we're going over to the Marvel stream, and maybe that might be the day I'm actually interviewing Tom Taylor if we get our times right. Maybe on Wednesday. And Friday, we're going over the entire DC catalog at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
You did the me thing.
Oh,
It's
and I
you.
get
It's
flack
on you.
for it.
It's your fault. It's your fault. We're out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Woo, man.